White does not win this. This is such a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Oh, but he could even lose this. 98!
No, that's too much.
David, I don't know what to say.
I need a moment to recover from that.
This couldn't be right. Oh,
Whoa, Queen H1.
I'm out. I'm gonna see y'all tomorrow.
What a great move.
And then Rook takes G3 back. And the queen's trapped. That is one of the most amazing queen traps I've seen.
Oh,
wait, B5. Oh my gosh. He's losing a piece. And look at him. He looks away. He can't believe it.
Oh my God.
Nihal trying to give checks, but actually now the pawn is moving forward. The pawn cannot be stopped. Bishop D6.
Oh, you win the time.
He loses on time.
What did we just witness? I think that White's position is about to collapse.
Yeah, but he sacrifices again, but it's not a sacrifice.
God.
It's a double attack.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Rapid Chess Championship. And guys, before we go for Rapid Chess Championship, let's have a quick look at Vishy Anand's game, who won the Superbet Rapid event with round to spare. Right now, last game is going on, but let's have a quick look at the game. Here we go. And here we have Vishy Anand's game from the Rapid Speed Bet Chess Classic, जो अभी चालू है event. Let me know if everything is audible and how are you doing guys after long time. कैसे हो आप सब लोग? कैसा लगा आपको विशय आनंद जी का performance? Let me know. And just 1 minute to go for the Rapid Chess event, and we'll be switching our windows quickly for that. Alright, let me see. Queen back to D1, queen पे अटैक किया गया था. Alright, चलिए. चलिए शुरू करते हैं. पोजीशन काफी कॉम्प्लेक्स है. आनंद जी के पास 5 मिनट है. रैपिड रिचार्ड अभी नंबर 2 पे है. नंबर 3 पे अगर आप स्टैंडिंग देखेंगे तो जुड़ा हैज वन इस गेम, सो वो 12 पे आ चुके हैं. And meanwhile, the Rapid Chess Championship is going to start, so we will have a look at that. We are going to have 9 games, And let's have a look at Hikaru's game जो just शुरू हो चुका है. Okay, let's see. There we go. All right. Give me a sec, guys. Okay, we are back, and we are watching now the game between Indian versus Harsha Bharatkoti. Let's focus on the Indian players. We have Harsha Bharatkoti leading the Indian GM contingent, and we have Indian P and some other GMs like Bharat Subramaniam and so on. तो जो अभी हाल ही में जो announcement की गई chess.com से, तो all the grandmasters are eligible to participate in the Rapid Chess Championship. Few more weeks हो गई इस tournament. Top 8 will qualify, and कल उसका होता है knockout. So that's the event format. They play 10+0 game, and knockouts are 10+2. All right, and if you see the standings here now, oops. All right. This is round 1, and we do have Karu Khan here. After some time, we will stick to the Hikaru's game. Harsha is playing Karu Khan here, Indian, and he's playing the C5 one. That's really interesting. One of my favorites. Knight C6, DC5, and now this is very interesting line, very complicated line. White is already a pawn up, but white aims to defend with this, and here you should not bend a knight into e5, क्योंकि अगर आप n into e5 मारोगे तो white will take knight e5, and after bishop d1 there is this clear bishop b5 check, and then you will be in trouble. Like you have to play queen d7 and then bishop into d7, and you are lost. So e6 was played, bishop e3, defending the pawn, knight d7, queen a4. This is the idea. इस पे अटैक भी आता है, and again this is a problem. But now he allowed bishop into f3, which is not so good, as this will destroy white's pawn structure, gf3, and now he can just improve knight f5 or knight g6. I like knight f5 because we really want to take this pawn and destroy white's pawn structure. So I think Harsha is doing quite well. I didn't like the previous move, bishop into f3, as I believe bishop b5 first could have been better, or something like knight d2 and then queen a4 एक better option था. And right now he is thinking what to do, because the position is not so clear. This is the live position. Queen c7 और bishop d4 खेला गया. So idea is white wants ki black d4 pe mare, and then after cd4 the center is very very strong, and then white will be out of danger. So here black just needs to play bishop e7, make short castle, or also another plan could be g6 bishop g7 or h6, you know, trying to get access to this diagonal and just make a short castle in peace. Like if he takes, we just simply take like this. He's going for g6 as bishop is more active on this diagonal, and if f4 then bishop can even go to h6 to attack the f4 pawn. The problem of white is going to be this knight. Maximum this knight can come here, but it's not doing much, and the king will be weak throughout, whether white's castle short or remains in the center. Meanwhile Hikaru has won his game. अगर आप standing देख पा रहे हो तो only Hikaru has won the first round, बाकी सब लोग खेल रहे हैं. So that was quick from Hikaru, and we do have Grishuk, Andrikin, Andrew Tang, Sham playing Driv Alexei, Rakhmanov, Martinez, Daniel Dubov, Arjun Kalyan is playing from India, Harsha Bharatkoti, then Inian is there. I also saw Subramaniam, Gata Kamsk is there. Hi Atharva, hi Anshika, how are you? Meanwhile, I would like to have a quick look at Vishy's game. Wait a sec. I can show you like this. This is Vishy's game, guys. And Vishy is in big, some trouble here because ये जो pawn currently जो march हो रहा है, those are very dangerous as e6, f6, you know, d6, everything is in there. While this, अगर ये pawn पे अगर ऐसा कुछ आ जाए तो बात बन सकती है, but right now looks like Rapid is better because of the better pawn structure, and there's no way in which Vishy can attack those pawns. Yeah, he goes c4, he wants to come bishop c5, but there's a bishop d4, f6, you know, anytime. Even king h1 is possible to just prevent bishop c5 and save the exchange. Let's see what happened in this game from the beginning. So Vishy simply played this line to equalize, and Rapid always mixes things, and he's playing for the second place. But however, Vishy has already won the event with round 2 spare. Very interesting and very crazy things. Look at this. So he's just giving this to get this. He defends d4, knight f4. What I like about Vishy's game is, you know, he's playing very active, and like, you know, we can simply see, you know, for 30 years back Vishy Anand playing with the fire. Like, that is really interesting in watching this, like throughout, like all his sacrificing pawn, you know, going for activity, you know. Look at this. Even the current position जो अभी board पे है, just coming back to the live position, like he, you know, he's committing something. Like he wants to just, you go e6, I want to put my bishop here and show me how you're going to win. So he's playing very active. He's always doing things. He's asking his opponent कि तुम क्या करने वाले हो, बताओ मुझे. E into f6 played. Rook into f6 is possible. He may simply sacrifice the exchange, guys. I'm not considering g into f6. He may even simply sacrifice the exchange. We never know. Like these two bishops are really very very strong, and with these two pawns, like it is like complete compensation in my opinion. We may see Vishy Anand sacrificing here because gf6 will weaken his king a lot, and maybe just knight c4 is possible as queen g4 check, and then he loses the exchange. I mean, he loses the pawn. So rook into f6. Yes, I'm loving this. I'm loving this. I'm loving this. Bar is giving 0.8 for white, but I'm not sure Rapid is going to win this because I like this position as a black. The compensation which he's having, I'm loving it. Also against Duda yesterday, you know, he sacrificed material and he got the material back. Like he was exchanged down. It was French defense. अगर आपने कल देखा होगा game. Takes, and look guys, already bar is staying like equates 0.00, and which is not losing anymore. So which is really playing fantastic and fearless chess. Simply defend the a7 pawn. I know we are here for the Rapid Chess Championship, but I don't think you would like to miss Vishy's game. Like, he's playing fantastic, and this is the last game of the Super Bet Rapid and Blitz event. So let's just cover it. अब मैं कोशिश करूँगा मैं इसमें हिंदी में कमेंट्री करूँ ताकि आप इसका और मज़े और आनंद ले सकें. अभी क्या हो सकता है इसमें? क्वीन b6 हो सकता है, रुक c8 हो सकता है, स्पॉन पर अटैक किया जा सकता है. फ्रॉम वाइट साइड में भी f6 का भी राइट टाइम पे किया जा सकता है. मे बी क्वीन e4 एट सम मोमेंट एंड अटैकिंग दिस c4 का पॉन पॉसिबल है. Rook a4 played. Wow. What he wants with this? Wait a sec. Rook a4 played. This pawn is under attack. There is no real way in which he can save the pawn. But maybe he can attack this one. And if they take everything here, then maybe he can play d4, and if rook d4 just take and d1. So something like this can be done. Rook b5, whether g4 is possible or not, that's a different thing. But if he plays g4, then he weakens his king, and I'm pretty sure she will find some counterplay against this. Or at least he can go rook c5 for the moment to defend the pawn. Let's see whether he just takes or allows this. Because after rook c4, rook into f5, I mean he has to take in that case, right? What else? And then there's a d2, and then maybe bishop d2, queen d2, and still this pawn is very strong. But there's a back rank issues. I like Vishy's position and his chances. I believe these pawns are much stronger than this pawn. What do you think, guys? What do you think about this position? Forget about this part. What do you think? Who is better in this position? क्या लगता है आपको? Let me know your personal opinion and let's discuss things. Rapper is thinking. He played f6. Both the players are down to 2 minutes. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be crazy. Oh my god, f6. How to react? g6 or just take? Or not to react because it's a pain. Vishy is clever, guys. He's not reacting simply because if he says, look at your queen. You cannot move your queen because then I take on c6. And also I defend the pawn. It was one time opportunity to take here, but after rook b into f5, I like black. It was not easy for white to play that position.
Won't remain secret.
He goes queen g4, attacking this pawn, but at the same time giving the c6 pawn. Can he take on g7? f2 is hanging, but then there's this move f8. Vishy attacks the queen. Vishy simply says, where are you going? First, just get out from here. But this gives chance to play queen g6. This is going to be intense and more crazy. Bar doesn't like it. Bar says it's winning for white, but then Rapid goes queen e6, and after queen e6 again it's equal. Maybe he was winning after queen g6, as then the fg7 threat is much stronger as queen is near to the king, and after this. But it was not easy to spot in 2 minutes. You will see later on what happened. And Vishy has blended queen into f7 suddenly, and he's losing this. Oops. King f7, fg7, and then he queens here. So the hidden trick was to take on f7, which was missed by me as well as Vishy during the game, and probably queen c7 was wiser and he could have survived. But after fg7, bishop g7, yeah, he's in the game. Everything is under control. The bar says it's equal, and Vishy lost this. However, he has won the Super Bet Rapid event as he was leading with 7 wins and a draw. Sorry, 6 wins and 2 draws in 8 games. So he won with 14 points. And now going back to our Rapid Chess Championship event, where things are already very, very interesting. We are watching the game between Harsha and Aronian, जो कि अभी एंड गेम में आ पहुंचा है, और यहाँ पे Aronian का किंग दोस्तों सेंटर में है और ये किंग काफ़ी सेफ है. So looking at this, it looks like Harsha is going to win the very first round in this event. And Aronian has resigned this game, alright, because let's have a quick look. We left it here after bishop h6. G6, we were talking about this nd2 and b3 plans. So he went nd2, bishop h6, h4, bishop f4 attacking the pawn, bishop d3, and he simply won the pawn, takes. And now look, if you look at this king and look at this king, it's very clear that black ka king is much more safe and out of danger. Even rook g4 was possible directly to attack this pawn and get it done, but he is simply not allowing any e5 because there was a pin. Takes, and he takes the right pawn, because if you take this one then you lose a7. So queen c5 first, and then he simply just makes sure that queens are not off the board because the king is weak, and just goes for checkmate. And he resigns here because the rook is trapped if rook c1 queen e2 is a mate, and this is only one check, he can just go anywhere. And so Hikaru has won, Arjun has won the first round, Harsha has won the first round. Let's look at some other game from this round maybe. Let's have a look at the Hikaru's game. Oops. Yeah, or Dubov is still playing. We can have a look at Dubov's game. Or Sham, Indian Grandmaster, trying to survive this position against. Oh, this is bad, because now if rook g5, then just king goes up and he loses the rook. There were some chances, but of course it's difficult. Arjun is trying to survive this endgame, and this is a draw technically. He's playing blue bomb here, and the king is very far. The king needs to be in this corner to win this kind of endgame. So now he can just make a queen, king e6, and it's going to be draw, guys. That's it. So this game ends in a draw. And any game left in round 1, any interesting game? Let me see, let me check. I think we do have Dubov's game, so let's move to Dubov's game. Top 8 qualifies for the knockouts tomorrow. That's the format. Today the format is 10+0 rapid, 9 game of Swiss among the grandmasters, and tomorrow top 8 will be in the format of 10-2 with 2 rounds each. Yeah, that's there. Vishy already won. We don't care. He lost last round. But we do feel कि यार वो last game भी जीतना चाहिए था, मजा आ जाता. और bleeds में एक बड़ी lead मिल जाती. Like he was 14 points पे. Rapid was on 11 points. So अगर वो जीत जाते तो like directly एक बड़ी 5-6 पॉइंट की लीड मिल जाती, और ब्लिट्स के लिए भी उसका कंबाइंड स्टार्टिंग के लिए भी उसका फायदा हो जाता. ऑफ कोर्स ही वन द रैपिड, एंड आल्सो आई मीन वी नो विशी कितने स्ट्रांग है ब्लिट्स में. ही इज नोन एज लाइटनिंग किड फॉर अ रीजन. सो काफ़ी मज़ा आएगा. एंड ऑफ कोर्स रैपिड भी काफ़ी अच्छे फॉर्म में है, क्वालिफाइड फॉर द कैंडिडेट्स. मीनवाइल हियर Dubov is pressing this end game very cleverly, and this pawn is under attack, but this knight defense, it कभी king g3 आ गया तो दिक्कत हो सकती है. And Dubov may lose the h5 pawn, and that's why he's thinking. He goes king g3, knight e2, king. He gives this pawn, and look at this clever idea. And now g3 check and simply takes on h5. Krikor simply gives up, and he gives the rook, and now he'll resign this very soon. A very good conversion by Dubov in the end game. Dubov won this game. And if any game left from round 1. That's it, guys. I think round 1 has finished. Oh, there's one game. Parvan David versus Sportkin Vladimir, both from Russia, playing this game. Queen g6 is there. This is very interesting. 16 seconds for Potkin. King d2 is forced. If queen b1, then the c3 pawn hangs. I don't like this. Now simply rook a1 and he is losing the queen. So this is game over. This is game over. What? Why they are complicating this? He wants rook f1, but there is a queen e4 possibility. And now rook f2 is simple, very simple. And now there is checkmate on d2, which is impossible to defend. And guys, today we are witnessing Grandmaster not castling and getting checkmated in the middle of the board. So Potkin wins here, Perwan loses. बात की जाए बचे हुए कुछ गेम्स की तो yeah, finally we are done with the round 1 and we can have a look at the standings where Hikaru, Arjun, Drev, Sham, and Grishchuk, Maksud Luparam has won first round. And Harsha is there with 1 point from Indian team. We will be looking at his games. He's playing quite nice. He'll be getting probably white in the next one. Looking forward to it. Let's see what happens next. And all right. Round 2 will start soon. Round 2 has started. Let me just switch to the another tab from where I can show you the games. Back for the round 2, we have Hikaru playing against player from Greece. The game started with 1 e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, Railo base. Typical move, but look at this, f5 guys, f5 played, d4, b5, and queen e7, quite interesting game. Coming back to the live position, I like black's position. This knight has very good outpost. This bishop is beautiful. This bishop is also controlling some key squares. But if bishop g5 happens, and if white gates somehow in c5, then white will be better. It's Hikaru's move right now. And if we go back to Harsha's game, he's playing Grishchuk here. Wow. And it's King's Indian. Makes some sense. Harsha got double black. Okay, let's see what happens. It's a King's Indian, and we are going to have some interesting game because nf4 guys, look at this move. Usually queen to e8 is played to defend the knight, then bishop e2 and then nf6. This is the typical line, but Harsha goes knight f4 because he cannot take as queen into h4 is possible. Bishop e3, knight a6, queen d2, and now it's black to play. He's waiting, and still white is not threatening this because it's not a good idea to open the bishop, but he's maybe threatening to castle long, and maybe he'll take later in the future, something like this. But definitely it's a very interesting position. Black can just simply play like bishop d7 or some other waiting move. I don't see any other move apart from these two in general. Bishop d7 is typically idea in King's Indian. और चैट आज इतनी शांत क्यों है चैट? हेलो श्रुतु, हाउ आर यू? यस, वन शॉट चेस आई एम प्लेइंग LBHM. हाय कुशाल, अंशुल. Guys, फटाफट 50 likes कर दो, फटाफट 50 likes कर दो. Vishy Anand has won the Super Bit Chess Classic today. 1 like for Vishy Anand, guys. And how many of you think that Vishy should play? Vishy हमारे टीम में खेलना चाहिए था Olympiad. We all are missing that. कि वो part नहीं रहेंगे. He's giving chance to the youngsters, but he's still at the top, guys, performing against. He has played fantastic throughout the event. I really like his performance. Bishop d7 was played short, long castle, and then Harsha comes back to g6. He wants knights to be traded so that his pawn structure thoda improve ho jayega. And if he doesn't take, then he will take here. So I don't know how Grishuk will react here. Definitely is going to think for a while here, because it's an important decision to make. And guys, let me know what you will do as a black and as a white in this position. He takes and goes h4. Wow. So he has another desi idea in his mind. He simply says, okay, just take. You wanted to improve structure, but that helps me. I go h4, and that's really beautiful idea, because after h5 there is no g5, and if this pawn starts rolling, then it will be difficult for Harsha to make a comeback in this game. And h5 is coming. I don't see any way in which Harsha can stop opening this h5, and this is not a good sign for him. Maybe queen f6, but then there's a bishop g5 coming in. If queen f7, then h6, bishop here, h7, king here, bishop here, king here, and queen g5 mate. So already we can see variations in which black king can get mated. So it is not something good for Harsha. And this move is definitely better. He's trying to get the bishop to g6. Let's see now how Grishuk continues this position. He can even just play waiting move like king b1 or something like bishop e2, bishop h5, with the idea of he just needs to trade pieces, make double, and this king will fall. So he needs to do some sacrifice, open up files, do something. But looks like Grishuk is in time. The bar favors white as usual in King's Indian. Okay, Ujjwal, okay. That's very true, Amsi. Mentor के लिए तो विशय आनंद जी best है दोस्तों. Of course, like nothing can be better than that. It's simply best. Yeah, of course वो भी जीतेंगे, फिर इलेक्शन भी होपफुली जीती जाएंगे. पूरे दुनिया में लोग चाहते हैं उन्हें, और सपोर्ट भी है. And such a nice personality he is. e4 played here, trying to open up the diagonal. And let's see if anyone has won round 2. No, not yet. As Hikaru is still playing. Hikaru ने भी round 2 नहीं जीता है. तो सब लोग खेल रहे हैं, और इसे अगर हम क्लिक करते हैं दोस्तों, तो हमें एक शॉर्ट यहाँ पे क्रॉस टेबल दिखता है. So this is Hikaru's game, who has managed to mix up lot of things. And जो एक खूबसूरत नाइट d5 पे बैठा था, एक अच्छा बिशप b7 पे था, उसको हिकारू ने क्या ही एड़ा बनाया है. And look at this bishop, guys, and now he's taking all those juices. And wow, this is simply wow, man. He has to play queen d8 to defend the a5 pawn, and that is not good. Yeah, that is not good. कैसी क्या ही एड़ा बनाया हिकारू ने. Let's see. So we were here, right, and d5, and we said like, okay, everything looks beautiful, and if bishop g5 नहीं आएगा तो कोई problem नहीं. He just gave the knight, okay, fine. Castle, knight d4. Okay, there were some threats here along this diagonal, and f4 was coming, g2 is hanging, so f3. And then okay, he made him play c6, and after that this bishop was very, very bad. My god. Beautiful guys, just beautiful. Beautiful, look at this. And the knight goes somewhere here, knight goes somewhere here, and we will have just 916. And now black has no good move too. He's playing the king, guys, from here to here. Look at this. Almost paralyzed, but black is still defending things, so it's not that bad jitna main keh raha hu. And let me know your favorite player to watch out in this event. Of course, today Vijay is not playing as he's playing some other event, and Sharjah Masters has started tonight or today evening. So Nihal, Arjun, SLG, and all other young GMs, Ronald, are playing in that event. But we do have Indian GMs playing in this event. जैसे कि हमने थोड़ी देर पहले ही बात की हर्षा भारत कोटी की, जिन्होंने पहला गेम काफ़ी उम्दा खेल के अपने ही दोस्त इंडियन को हराया, और अब वो ग्रिस्टुक से लड़ बैठे हैं. Back to his game, g4. Standing पे नजर डालते हैं. Okay, no one has won round. Guys, it's a tough event. All the grandmasters are playing. It's basically World Rapid Championship. Though Chesscom called it Rapid Chess Championship, it's like World Rapid Chess Championship, जो हर हफ्ते होती है. And every single grandmaster in the world gets a fair chance to compete against the best in the world, against all GMs in the world, and they get enough chances. Like the event started 2-3 months back, and it will go until July, and then August onwards we will have quarterfinals. And so on. Like, so every event you get 10 points, depending upon the rank you are, you get points, and it's like Grand Prix system. And after that they will fight against the invited top 8 players. So it's really interesting event with a huge prize fund every week. And what is the best part about it? It is like complete with fair play. All cameras, everything, everything is taken care of, and also it's in rapid format. It's not like blitz ki like 3 minute mein game khatam. So it's like, it's a proper chess. So very one of its kind this event is, and very beautiful. And I know आप सबका favorite format भी 10-0 ही होता है. If you think about long term, 3-0 okay, yes we do enjoy bullet at times, but not always, yeah, to play a good game of a chess. And b4, guys, now Grishtuk wants this knight also to be kicked, and he's just punishing Harsha for playing King's Indian in his own style. Former world blitz champion Nikhil Anand. Kamath is not playing in this event, guys. I can show you games of Arjun versus Alexenko, where f3 is a blunder because it's a pin, so don't play f3. It was black to play anyways, and he goes back, which was not needed actually. Maybe rook b3 is possible, but then a4, b7 hands. However, rook b3 has to be played because we need to do something. But black maybe just play rook up7, rook e7 and sit tight. Alexenko will be like, I'm just going to play this, and I want your rook to be calling time to defend the a4 pawn. Makes sense, guys, makes sense. Form a candidate player for a reason. e6. Now Arjun कुछ करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, rook hit हो सकता है. Then e7, even king f7 is possible, but then there is a check. Better to just take the juicer, and if e7 then go rook e8 and just sit tight there. Looks very promising for Alexenko for the moment. If you talk about Dubov's game, always there are things like this, and Dubov is white in this, so this time Dubov is maturely up, And as per bar, he is winning, but it's double-edged as the position has a lot of imbalance. Maybe f4, f5, f6 is a very good idea to continue with. And there's a pin, so black cannot really prevent f4, f5. And if f4, f5 come, then f6 will also come. And if f6 come, then black is going to lose this. So if Dubov finds f4 plan, he's going to win this game. Also g6 is possible as he cannot trick with rook as d6 hangs. But he goes rook h3. He wants some rook a3 ideas with this pawn to be attacked. But now this gives some chance for black to make a comeback. And if this pawn starts get rolling with b4 and some b3 ideas, then it will be difficult for white as well. Going back to Hikaru's game, let's see if he has won or not. So Hikaru is playing some endgame with queen and opposite color bishop, where he is 2 pawns or 1 pawn up. He's a 1 pawn up and it's a passed pawn, so the king is just going to walk or on the king queen side और जीत जाएंगे. और queen जिसका भी threat है कुछ positions में. So this queen is simply dominating, वो मार नहीं सकते क्योंकि ये pawn भी छूट जाएगा. So it's complete domination by Hikaru here. And as usual, he's ahead on the clock, like without a doubt. All right. चैट इतनी गुमसुम क्यों है भाई? क्या हुआ है दोस्तों? इतने शांत क्यों बैठे हो आप आज? What is this chat? What is this? And we have reached how many likes? 70 likes? Okay, let's go back to some other game because Hikaru has won this game. He has resigned already. He is Mr. Jose. He's playing against Drew. He's trying to outplay Drew. This endgame is really interesting because it's not easy for white to push this pawn as well as to attack this guy. And white also has some weakness, like nf4 can be possible. nf4 is coming and f3 is also hanging. So it is dynamically balanced where white has a passed pawn as well as weakness on the rook rank or the h. A पे strength है, h पे weakness है. And this knight is also strong at the same time. I don't know why he's not playing nf4. Maybe at some point rook f3 h4 is possible. But sooner or later we will see black playing knight to f4. And meanwhile, Grishchuk has won the game in style. Ronald is playing. Ronald has finished his game. Wait a sec. Is he playing Rapid Chess Championship or is he just? Wait a sec. Did he join from round 2? Ronak? He was playing Sharjah Masters, like he was playing games there. Let me see what Ronak is doing. Yeah guys, I think he has joined from round 2. Like he finished his game and he joined. Like he's saying there are 9 rounds but maybe 8 rounds ही काफी है to qualify. And he is winning the very first game. दोस्तों ये है रौनक जिंदगी. But wait guys, wait. Can he play rook takes c6? And into f6 is possible, definitely, but there are very less pawns remaining. This is a king f5 coming, and then knight has to move, and then the c4 hangs. And the grandmaster has taken the pawn. It's winning, but definitely not easy, as after rook. Okay, he goes rook c2. And I play knight f4, okay, makes sense. But if king g5 first, now this rook g8 is coming. Yeah, should be winning because there is no way to win this pawn or get this pawn by force. Can he take on b6? But you know, this gives chance to play this rook f2 followed by f3. So I'm not sure. Maybe just play rook f8 and play knight f2 f4. I think this is a good idea. Just give a check and take the juicer. That will be a good idea. Like to defend the pawn. Don't play rook f4 because then king g3. So just play knight f4. Yes. And now, okay, the b4 is annoying a bit. Lekin aap kuch karke nd5. Yes, yeah, something like this. He's up on clock. And any3 is coming. And rook d2. Still no threat. So just play king somewhere. Okay, he won on time. Guys. Look guys, even in Rapid Chess Championship, it's possible to flag if you play fast. So Ronak has won the game. he has joined the event one round late, but he won. He's on 1 point. So if you have a look at the standings, we have Kovalev 2 out of 2, Grishchuk, Nakamura as usual, Arjun, and so many guys. Let's see if any other game is still going on from round number 2. Dubov, we always have Dubov guys for some interesting stuff. और ये देखो ये कितने सारे प्यादे ये किंग की और बढ़ने वाले हैं और ये रुक बोलने वाले हैं कि आई हैव अ चेक मैच. तो कौन करेगा किसकी मैच? 20 सेकंड दोनों खिलाड़ियों के पास. Rook at 6 is the one way to simplify the position. But right now, so in my opinion, White is going to win this game as f6 is coming next. The bishop is trapped more or less. But he should have played f6 first. Now it gives chance to play king h6. Wait, is he going to play rook d3? Yes, but maybe just take. And f6 is also enough. But wait, why is playing rook here? He wants this move. Makes sense. He didn't push the pawn, so now this is officially over as this cannot be defended. This cannot be prevented. So it's officially lost and Nikita is going to lose this one. He's going to lose all the pawns. He could have done it better, but he was low on time and at its preliminaries or the Swiss event. And we will have round 3 starting very soon, dosto. And these are the live standings. We do have 9 players on 2 points and some guys on 1.5. And we have a lot of Indian GMs, Harsha, Ronald on 1 points and Indian as well. Hello Saksham, how are you? Okay, let's move to the next round. Oops. Okay, so round 3 is अभी चालू नहीं हुआ. क्या हो गया? Not yet, I guess. We'll wait for next round to start and maybe we can have a look at the game of Aronian, who has won this round in round 2. So let's have a look at his game. Where was Aronian? Aronian was here. He defeated Grandmaster Rustam Alexandro in not just, he played like 67 moves to win this with black pieces. It was Ragozin and very solid line. Alright, and this is typical compensation you get for 2 bishops. And he managed to swindle this somehow. Though White was doing very well, played really good in game to win this. Wow, he won this game. Guys, this is all about, this is all about fight until the end. If you fight until the end, you win. That's it. And he's a very good fighter. He fought this endgame which was looking completely drawn or only White has chances in the beginning, and at the right moment he started pushing the pawn because now king cannot go to the f file as knight is hanging, and if knight cannot really go to f2 because of its own pawn and its weakness. And after this it was just lost. A very nice concept by Aronian here. Just his knight ko hi maar diya. He could have put his knight on g4 or e4. But very nice trick by Aronian in the end to win this game. And round 3 has started. Let's have a look at Dubov's game, who is playing Hikaru Nakamura. And first few moves are very quick. Though it's a rapid event, it's all about theory. They play Catalan and theoretical line where White has slight edge but not big, as it's a symmetrical structure, and if White cannot show something in some moves, it's going to be completely equal. Like once the knight comes to d7, rook comes to d8, okay, black can say I have completely equalized. Right now, okay, white is some tempos ahead, maybe one just, because queen is under attack, knight d4 is possible maybe. If you don't win this pawn, this game is going to be drawn. So queen to a5. Now this pawn is a bit weak. I like nd4 first. Like कुछ भी हो जाए पहले knight d4 खेलना है. The bishop must go back, and then maybe we can put rook on d1 or c1 and bishop to f1 and to try to attack this pawn. Or also maybe knight d2 is not that bad idea because we attack directly and there is no good way to defend the pawn apart from queen b4 or something like queen a6. उसके बाद भी हम rook c1 या कुछ ऐसे करके bishop f1 कर सकते हैं. And this is going to be some headache for Hikaru as this pawn has crossed the border. Going to some other game, maybe we can watch game between Harsha and Nikita, who just lost to Dubov, I guess. What was this opening, guys? Name is Larson with unusual stuff. Alright, bishop to f5. Let's have a quick look at some other games as well, and then we will stick to one game जो आप demand करोगे. Maybe we can also have a look at Ronald's game, who joined, guys. If you look at this, you can, I think you can look at this, right? So he joined the event one round late, and he's playing against Potkin, but looks like, what? Wait a sec, where are two pieces of white? Wait, white is two pieces down. Ronald is two pieces up. What is this happening? Like 13 moves and he's upper material. Like what? He's like piece up already. What is this line, guys? Let's have a look at it. It was Royal pace and 10 मूव में कैसे भी जीतते हो भाई? d4 takes, bishop c5, this, fine, makes sense. Okay, wait, what? Why not queen d4? What's wrong with this? Maybe there's an f4. Oh. And maybe queen b5, knight e2 later on. But queen d4, let's say knight f4, there's a g3, what else? And it's not a big deal because queen b5, nb5, knight e2, king goes nd4, he gets the piece back. Oh, but queen d4, this is knight h4, and if we play g3 and f3 wins. So this was the whole point that Potkin missed, and because of that, he has to play knight d5. He just lost a piece, and then he took on b5, then f4, then he's playing f5, and he gets the material back. And that's it. Now he has to move the knight. Then maybe he can also play queen h4, queen b6, or just play d6, knight c7, whatever. And guys, Ronald Zindagi is back, winning 2 games very quickly, and both of them in style. Crazy, no? Winning with black in just like 15 moves. Okay guys, let's go back to our boss, Hikaru's game, who's playing against Dubov, and Dubov is doing some desi attack here with f4, e4. He's not going for the c4 pawn. However, Hikaru has defended the c4 pawn with the rook, and we left the position here. And we were discussing about knight d2, rook to c1, bishop f1 ideas, or knight d4 ideas. But he went knight d4, yes, and then he played h3 to prevent knight g4, makes sense. And then he goes f4. Maybe he wants e5, f5, or g4, g4, g5, we never know. Dubov is always playing for win, irrespective of the opponent. What do you think, guys? Who will qualify from the जो Indian GMs खेल रहे हैं इस event में? What do you think? Who will qualify? Whether it's Ronald, Harsha, Aronian, or someone else? You can have a look at the standings. All of them are right now at 1 point out of 2 games. We saw Ronald winning this, but he has joined 1 round late, so उनका tie break थोड़ा खराब रहने वाला है. But if you make 6 points, you qualify generally out of 9 games. And today one just needs to qualify, like top 8 में आना है आपको. इवेंट जीत के आज कुछ नहीं मिलता, टॉप 8 में आना. I mean, you definitely get prize, but again tomorrow you have to play the knockouts. So only you will get is if you finish first, you will get the number 8. That's the only advantage. Generally, Naka wins the event, so it's better to finish 7th than 8th. However, Dubov is having some cruel intentions. He's going to put knight on e4, I think. But it's not easy to continue the attack because when you play f5, the e5 hangs. He goes king h2. Maybe he wants to open the g file or just get rid of any pins happening in the future. And king is definitely more safer on h2 than g1. Queen to a6, okay. What Hikaru wants with this move? Anyone in the chat knows Hikaru well. What Hikaru wants with Queen a6? What is the idea of this move? He's defending this pawn for sure, but it wasn't attack. Why Hikaru has put his queen backwards? Is he over defending e6? Or he's just confusing his opponent and getting time? What do you think Hikaru ने क्या किया है ये खेल कर? Queen e2, knight d3, okay. He could have done this directly, but again we never know. Why Hikaru wants queen on a6? f5. Dubov directly goes f5. He's not caring about the e5 pawn. He's like, भाई तू सोच किससे मारना है, मैं तो अटैक करूँगा. I don't like with this knight because then takes and he can at least play bishop f4, putting more pressure on e5 a6. So better maybe to take with this guy. So fe still maybe still bishop f4 is possible. Knight f4 gf4 and this guy will be weak. But that will be equal, nothing much or special. But if Dubov has some interesting ideas like bishop coming to e4, then it can get more interesting. Like for example, takes and bishop e4. Oh wait, can he play knight e6? Because queen e6, there is bishop d5. Wow, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. Dubov, you beauty. And that is why they say put your king on h8 just like Dubov does. Dubov, you beat him. Definitely Hikaru has missed this move. And now he's thinking because this hurts. Knight on e6 hurts, guys. This hurts. The rook is having open file. Imagine the bishop is not there and it's betting 1. So you can play moves like bishop g5 next. Killer threats are coming. Maybe king h8 is needed here. I don't know what to play. This is difficult situation for Hikaru. Or maybe he can try to trade the piece which will be annoying in near future. So maybe bishop c6 is a good idea to try to trade the piece which is annoying. Like this is the most annoying piece, but you cannot take because of this guy. So it makes sense to remove the g2 bishop first and then attack the e6 guy. Because king h8 will give some chance for white to do something. Bishop c6 also defending the f8 with the rook, so there is no bishop g5 like moves or ideas possible, but definitely something like bishop d4 is possible at some point. But then knight will be hanging after take. So what Dubov will do here? बताइए दोस्तों, डुबो को कैसे डुबोएंगे आज या खुद डूब जाएंगे? This move is another complicated move which he can start with. Just play bishop d6 and then maybe queen somewhere to h5, bishop to e4 at some point. Guys, today Hikaru's defending skills are going to be tested. Hello Hawk, nice to see you back. Let's see how good is Hikaru in defense. Definitely it's not a easy nut to crack. But डुबो भी दोस्तों किसी से कम नहीं है. जब उनका दिन हो दोस्तों, मैग्नस को पेल देते हैं. So let's see. Knight d4. He wants his knight back. Dubov wants his queen to come on d5. So take के बाद queen d5 पे आके बैठ जाएगी, जो भी काफी interesting हो सकता है. Also he's aiming at knight to f5. Knight will be having new ways, new jumps, new life, and new threats. And Hikaru is surviving this position. This bar is saying it's equal because you know why? Because these two knights are really strong. They are defending and covering the key squares in the position, and that is why Hikaru's position is still under control as per machines. But playing over the board is not easy, guys. It's not easy, trust me. When the knight will come here, this knight will jump here, the queen will be somewhere here, here or here. It will be very annoying to play. And Hikaru is thinking, trying to figure out कि इसको कैसे मैं एकदम ठिकाने लगाऊँ, इस पोजीशन को कैसे मैं पूरा न्यूट्रलाइज करूँ. The attack is real, the pressure is real. Currently this is threatened, so he has to take, no other way. He will take for sure. Can Hikaru try to trade more pieces? He's putting pressure on the b2. He's like, give me that pawn, give me that queen. And now definitely Dubov is going to lose the b2 pawn, but how strong is queen d5 is the question. Queen d5 check, let's say king goes here. And let's say for the moment Hikaru forgets, Dubov forgets about the b2 pawn and goes on f5. He takes on b2. Oops, sorry. He takes on b2, and then Dubov can simply put his king on h1. और king काफी यहाँ पे safe रहेगा under छत्र छाया of the queen on d5. And this king will be under some back rank threats. He goes nf5 directly. He's like, तुम क्या ही b2 मारोगे, मैं knight e7 मारूंगा, and if you play king h8, I will checkmate you before you take my queen. So Dubov putting threats first. Now also queen d5 check possible, followed by knight e4. But right now it looks like Dubov भी थोड़ा pawn देने में हिचकिचा रहा है because ये pawn दोस्तों गया तो ये pawn queen बन सकता है. And it's like double edge game, and कुछ भी हो सकता है. Like literally कुछ भी हो सकता है. Knight e4. The moment this queen comes in the game, somehow Dubov will be losing suddenly. Hikaru still ahead on clock. 1.5 minutes से आगे है. Dubov is down to 2 minutes. What do you think, guys? यहाँ पे Dubov ने इसको win के लिए खेलना चाहिए या draw के लिए? Draw से खुश रहना चाहिए. He's playing against Hikaru. He goes for knight e4. He wants to smell the blood. He goes for knight e4. Rook into b2 is going to happen very soon. But there is one intermediate move, rook b5, asking this queen a question कि भाई तुम कहाँ जाओगे? Because queen d4 there is an f3 and g4 tricks, and I don't see any good square for this queen after rook b5. So rook b5 makes some sense as queen is trapped and he has to trade or put something in between. And if queens get exchanged, then if b2 hangs, then Hikaru will definitely have the upper hand. Right now, after takes, the real threat is nd6 and some nf7 ideas. He goes directly to b2 and maybe now he will go to b5. The bar suddenly falls. Maybe king h1 is a mistake and king g1 is correct, but it's very hard to figure out without the bar. Now why king g1 was a better option? Maybe in some endgame the king is stopping the c pawn with king on g1, and with king on h1 it's just out of reach. Maybe that's the reason. And maybe also Dubov played king h1 because he don't want to play queen d4 and he wants to keep position alive with queen d4. If king g1, then these checks are coming. Meanwhile, no one has won the round 3 and we are 2 players, Andrikin and Sven Ramos, on 2.5 out of 3 games. Yes, Saklan, I do remember you. And guys, do write whatever you want to in chat, because I'm here to talk to you and answer your questions. Bishop c5. Dubov will like, take my bishop. One thing he can do is do this queen c6 after take, and queens will be traded. He goes queen b7 directly. Now Dubov has no option but to take the queen. Bar doesn't like this move, maybe because in some way he's losing this pawn. Yes, so take, and maybe knight d6, knight c5, knight b7. Okay, maybe this knight to d6, and but I don't know. I really don't know what's happening, but in some way he's getting, wait, what? He goes knight f6. He wants to destroy structure, but I think Hikaru will go queen d5, knight d5 and rook c5. And there is nothing, in which he can do back rank, so any result is possible. Maybe two results are possible now, because if there is no back rank, white cannot win, so black win or a draw. I think black is going to win this game, as he's 1 minute ahead on the clock, as well as one extra pawn. ये pawn तो आगे बढ़ने वाला है. Maybe he has to play knight e3, but then he'll just play g6 or something. And there's no way in which he can stop the c4 pawn. If he plays this, then the knights are not active. Then he has lost the counterplay, and wait, what? He wants knight. Okay, he wants this checkmate. But why he's putting this knights? Maybe he wants knights like this, so that he can do the blockade in future with knight to b5. He goes knight e7. He's not caring about the pawns. He wants to checkmate Hikaru very badly. But I don't see it's happening, because as I said in the middle game, this knight is really very, very strong, covering the key squares. So there is no checkmate possible, whatever tricks or threats you try to build. And right now Hikaru is wondering कि ये क्या ही करना चाहता है, what he wants with this move is the question. Why he cannot push pawn on c3, guys? Definitely ne6 is coming. Oops, sorry. After that, but he goes rook c7 first, because it makes sense to attack. He goes rook f8 and rook e8. Dubov still trying to checkmate Hikaru somehow by getting some knight to here, but I don't see that is happening. Maybe he wants c3, knight e6, c2, knight f8, knight g6 and rook checkmate. So this is what Dubov has had for Hikaru if he pushes the pawn. But maybe there was some defense, but it's very difficult to play. Both the players are down to minute. Dubov down to 15 seconds. There is no increment. Let me remind you, there is no increment. Dubov play fast. And Dubov just resigned because he was pretty sure that Hikaru will flag him in this time control. He could have tried to save just by taking and putting knight here, but now it's a Hikaru's area, where he is very strong. There's no increment in the Swiss event. It's a 10+0 straight finish, and that makes the event more interesting, more funny and more brutal. Meanwhile, Grandmaster Harsha has won the round 2 and moved to 2 points out of 3 games. So we have Harsha and Ronald on 2 points, as well as Aronian on 2 points. So we have 3 Indian Grandmasters on 2 points. Hope they don't play with each other in the next round. We have 3 players on 2.5 and Hikaru leading with 3 on 3. Now we will move to the next round very soon. What a game by Hikaru. Dubov played very well, but in the end he lost because Hikaru was accurate enough to swindle. Okay, wait, there is one more game was going on, and Suez also moves to 3 points out of 3 games. So round 3 का ये रहे दोस्तों results. If you can see now on the screen, Hikaru won, Ronald won, Harsha won. What a checkmate, guys! What a checkmate in the end by Harsha in this game. Bodhia, just like the Grishuk defeated him, he took revenge with another Russian Grandmaster. And Jose lost this round. Probably now Hikaru and Suez, Darius Suez, will play the next round. Sorry if I'm pronouncing his name wrong. So these two guys will play on board 1 in the next round. And meanwhile, Aronian has won game against Hikaru's first round opponent from Greece in just 33 moves. I think the next round has started, or not yet. I think there's a small break after 3 rounds. So we'll be back in few seconds, guys. So guys, welcome back to the Rapid Chess Championship Swiss events of 9 rounds. 3 round has been finished and we have Hikaru leading the event with another guy on 3 points, and there are 3 people on 2.5, and we do have 3 Indian Grandmasters on 2 points, Ronald, Harsha as well as Indian. Round 4 will begin very soon. And if you are just joined, let me tell you the event format. So today there is a Swiss qualifier of 9 round जिसमें दोस्तों दुनिया भर के सारे ग्रैंड मास्टर्स को मौका मिलता है to compete against the best players in the world in a rapid format of 10-0 straight finish game. There is no increment in this event or this format of the qualifier. Or top 8 players goes to the knockouts on the Sunday night, जिसमें they compete for a total prize fund of $20,000 every week. Yes guys, you heard it right. That big is the prize fund, and the winner gets $7,500 every week. And that is why we witness all the grandmasters, Kirsho, Hikaru, Fabiano, Vidit, all the top grandmasters in the world play this event every week. And in the August they will be playing quarterfinals and knockouts as per the Grand Prix points they get every week, depending upon their performance. We'll have a look at Harsha's game, who checkmated his opponent very beautifully in the middle of the board. So game started with knight f3, knight f6, b3, g6, bishop to b2, bishop g7, e3, d6, d4 because they want to prevent any e5, c5 coming after d6, c5 takes, and dc5. So this was normal. We saw a game till this point and preventing any b5. Knight e5, knight b4, bishop to c4. Harsha will like to take my c2 and give me your juicy f7, which will weaken the king. So he has to play e6, and now the bishop is trapped. So if he works out and attack this bishop somehow, the game is over. And g5. Look at this crazy move. He wants to take the f7 with the knights, and there's no rook f8 actually, because then he can actually do f3, e4, and for example, look at this rook f8. He can play f3, and if knight takes c2, already e4. He takes this guy, and well, actually he can even take this guy. Generally we take on f5 and trap the knight, and we get 2 pieces for the rooks, but he can do either way as the bishop is also trapped on f5. However, ef5 would be better, and if he plays like this, maybe just rook f2 and he can attack the bishop and get the bishop. So this was the problem for which black decided to go and c2 directly. He also went directly. So blood for blood, you give me rook, I take your rook, hati ke badli hati, and bishop b5, and simply rook a2 attacking the knight, and b4, rook comes to d2, and the queen will be attacked. And guys, this is how he got the exchange, and was accurate enough to convert this. Once the king is weak, it's easy to attack, and there's this coming in. He got the exchange material and simply then attacking the weaknesses or the weak points in the position. I would say very nice game by Harsha after losing against Grishchuk, and a very good comeback to checkmate Nikita in the middle of the board. And आप जो rating देख रहे हो 2547 and 2435, those are the FIDE standard ratings of the players. Harsha has already crossed 2600, I think, in the live ratings in the World Bridge Championship this year, so he is really strong. And we also have Ronald, who just won this round in the opening, to be honest. Like, he got a piece in the opening here, and then he just converted in the end. Let me see if round 4 has started. Yes, round 4 has started, and this is Hikaru's game. Let's move to, we will come back to Hikaru's game once it's more closer to the finish. I would like to focus on Ronak or Harsha's game, as we are focusing on Indian stars tonight. So Harsha is playing Paravan David with white pieces, as he got 2 blacks in the very beginning. Now he's getting 2 whites. So Chesscom does the justice, and he's playing the typical Nimzo Larsen setup, starting with knight f3 and b3, which is also one of the favorite lines of Nihal and Hikaru, or let's say Hikaru, Nihal, and other Indian champs. Very good for the speed chess format especially, and he's playing with some ideas. You cannot really play b6 because d4 आता है, and then if you take the c6 hangs, so you lose a piece. So He plays queen to f6, knight c3, attacking the rook. He guards, and now the problem is after take, also same problem happens, because c5 you cannot guard, as every time you play b6 there is a d4, and now he needs to do some d4 or this knight here, something, he needs to do some crazy stuff to save this game. He takes on c3. I don't like this move, as now this pawn is definitely going to fall after queen takes c3. Queen c5 happened, and e5, e4 played, trying to create some counterplay against the king, but still the bishop is here. If अगर ये रुक यहाँ पे होता ना दोस्तों, तो बात कुछ और होती. Like you go back, then the rook comes in, and then this rook g5, and attack on the king is very dangerous. But it's very far. I mean, black is 2-3 moves behind. Like he needs to get the bishop to f5, then this rook to here, then rook here, again move the bishop to open the diagonal. Open the ranks for the rooks. So अभी दिल्ली बहुत दूर है. And meanwhile, Harsha just needs to play one move and trade pieces. So this is going to be easy conversion as long as he trades pieces and simplifies the position. Let's have a look at Ronald's game. Who is playing? Ronald, whom are you playing, bro? Sham, whom are you playing? He's playing. Wait a sec, this was his previous round game. Ronald is playing Kamsky Gata, former World Championship challenger. Rook to b2, and wait a sec, why these guys are playing so fast? This position is completely equal. For example, bishop c5, they trade and it's a draw. But I know, knowing Kamsky guys, he'll play this endgame until he gets his king to e2. Now he'll play this. Okay, they are going to trade, and Kamsky will like tuk, and he'll keep on playing this endgame, or maybe not, because Ronald ne dum pakad li hai, and he goes back. Look, now he'll play e6, and now Ronald can simply trade one of the pawns and put his king on e2, and that's enough. Like edgy, king f1, king e2, and he can claim a draw. But Kamsky goes f take g4. He wants something in the position. He's not like कि भाई सीधे ड्रॉ करेंगे, हम खेलेंगे. Kamsky भी like भाई हम खेलेंगे अभी बहुत गेम बचा है. But talking about this, he can just play f3, trade some pawns, put bishop on f4, and it's a fortress. There's no real impediment, and that was quick. He won this game in like 20 moves. Let's see what happened in this game. It was Sicilian, and what happened that he lost so quickly? Takes, queen b5, and this is just unstoppable. Like this attack came very strong, and still he is yet to push pawns. So he just lost the game because the bishop also got trapped. And for bishop d6, just take, and he loses the bishop. So Dubov just crushed him in like a minute. Like he had 9 minutes, and Indian has 6 minutes. A good comeback by Dubov after losing to Hikaru. Moving to Harsha's game, he is still up a pawn, but Parvian got some activity. This rook is coming to d2, and d4 is threatened right now. There are some threats. Maybe he needs to put something like this to defend people, defend guys, I mean. And we will have a look at the standings. Alright. And top 8 qualifies, guys. So currently there's not a single Indian in the top 8. But if Harsha wins, or if Indian to har gaye, Ronald is drawing the game. So if they manage to win 2 games in a row, they'll be in top 8. But right now, let's root for Harsha as he's up a pawn. But why he allowed knight to d4? I didn't get this thing, guys. Why he allowed knight to d4? There was just no need to allow this. In my opinion, he could have just played queen on b5, just remove the queen out of the pin, but maybe he didn't like rook d2 coming in. Still rook d1 was possible. So knight d4, why I didn't like is because knight d4, let's say we take on e7. You take on e2, we take on e2, and there's rook c2. Okay, rook c2 is coming in, and the problem is you cannot move the knight, because if nd4 then the f2 hangs, and if you go on f4, abhi to g5 nahi aa raha hai, but sooner or later this can come, and always rook d8, there is a queen takes a1 coming in. So pieces are hanging in this variation, and that is for this reason I don't like that. And Parvin is also thinking, because he is going to sacrifice second pawn, and if he goes for that, he needs to go all out. There's no other way. And we are having the same position on the board, so 92 is going to happen. The rook is coming to c2 very soon, but not maybe immediately, as the bishop is still a problem. Maybe bishop g4 first is possible. We never know. f3 sometime take is possible. Not right now, but the queen is in the corner of the board, grabbing pawns. So such positions, if it works out, it works out. Otherwise, this proves to be a poison pawn in the end. So guys, what will be the sequence of doing things correctly? You have 3 minutes on your clock, black to play. Let me know what you will do after knight e2, knight e2. How you will continue this position as a black. Hint for you is the evolution of the position, which shows +1 for black. But right now black is 2 pawns down. Let's see how many of you can get closer, or if any one of you can get it correct. Knight e2, rook c2 was possible, or something killer, try to think something out of the box. There is a one move which will blow your mind. There's a one move. It's not easy, but it's very interesting. And we discussed about the idea we have to get the rook to the 7th rank. This guy is hanging, and he missed it. He's offering him another pawn. David is offering him another pawn. Now this is something very, very critical. The move was knight e2, and rook to d2 in the previous position, guys. So rook d2 was more stronger than rook c2, as it is having multiple options to trade, and also next move, this is the thread. So that was much stronger but difficult to find. And he goes rook e8, offering him another pawn. Now Harsha is thinking to sacrifice the queen for the knight, which is also a good option in general, because you have 2 pawns for the rook and a piece. Also you have very strong knight, which will come here. Bishop is going to come here. So he is thinking about that. And also queen b7, knight e2, something like rook a2 is also to be checked, because both rooks will be under attack. So and this knight as well. nd4, there's a bishop e4 coming in. Queen e4, queen into f2, king h1, and it's just surviving, because g2 will be protected by the queen on e4. But there's a danger in taking on b7, but it's possible to do so if you are good in calculation. So will you take on b7 or will you take on d4? Let me know in the comments. Harsha has 4 minutes, but you guys only have 40 seconds. Harsha is still thinking. Meanwhile, Andrikin has won his game and moved to 3.5 points. He decided to give the queen. As I said, it's very easy to play with such active pieces. And maybe just bishop c4, knight to d5 is a good way of putting pieces. But now bishop c4, there's a b5, and if you go bishop d5, there's a queen c3. Again, the back rank issues are not solved. And maybe for bishop d5, there's directly rook into e2 as well. So Harsha needs to be very careful here, as still he needs to solve the back rank issues and these backward pawns. If he gets a4 and bishop c4, his position will be absolutely fine. But currently a4, there is a queen c3, and b3 pawn is hanging. So maybe first he can play rook c4 or maybe rook d2 and just try to consolidate. But even if he does that, there is a bishop to d5 coming in. He goes rook c4, which was more safe, and they have already repeated this position once, and Paraben is offering him a repetition. And Harsha be like, what is this, man? You have a queen. What are you doing? Now some psychological game is going to take place here. Paraben gained some 20 seconds in last 2-3 moves, while Harsha has lost 1.5 minutes. So momentum is shifting. Things are dragging out from Harsha's side. Or chat, dear chat, इतना सन्नाटा क्यों है भाई? Guys, let's have 100 likes. Let's have 100 likes. We are just 10 likes away from 100 likes. Let's have 100 likes. Quickly, guys, quickly, please. Queen e6 on the board. This time, Paraban changed his move because there's something forced in this position. But meanwhile, Harsha be like, okay, let's make draw, like it's enough. And now Paraban be like, no. I'm 2600. I have won title chooses so many times. I know how to play on chess.com. I know how to flag people. I know how to repeat twice and decline for the third time. And he changes moves, and Harsha be like, भाई तूने सही नहीं किया ये. अब तुम्हें पछताना पड़ेगा. And that's why he's thinking. And that's what Paraban's strategy is, to get more time and flag Harsha in the end, because position is completely equal. Look at this, guys. Step 26. Stockfish is going ahead and it says 0.00, and there's nothing special in this position. But over the board, there's a lot to play in this position, as it's completely imbalanced. Black has queen, white has some other pieces, and currently this a2 b3 is under attack. If a4, then the b3 hangs. If no push, then a2 hangs. But he can play bishop f3, then there's a queen a2 possible. He can take on b7, he can take on b3, and they can play this position until the end of this world, because there's no way in which one can force draw. It's like a draw position, but they can play, keep on playing, guys. Will he go for bishop f3? He goes rook d4. He's like, you take my pawn, I put my pawn on b4, I play bishop f3, I play g4, and then I will flag you with 3 moves. But right now he's 50 or 40 seconds behind on the clock, and there is no increment. Let me just once again remind you guys, there is no increment. It's tournament. It's a Swiss event. It's a qualifier event. So there is no increment, and he has found the weak spot to attack. And Harsha be like, तुम क्या attack करोगे? मेरा king तुम्हारे queen के लिए काफी है. The king goes up, but now the g5, h5, h4 maybe at some point. g5, he has to go on h5 because the bishop is hanging. Then he has to put bishop on f3. Guys, things are heating up here. It could be anyone's game. Maybe h4 is needed here. Just prevent this g5. He goes bishop g4. Harsha wants to play with least possible pieces, and he just wants to create a fortress with this guy and ensure his king safety with h4 in my opinion. Now the king feels very, very safe, as there's no real problem. Maybe he'll just play nd3, king f3 and try to do some pre-moves, but still there's a lot of game left. 61 seconds versus 80 seconds. Queen to h1, trying to do some h5, g5 stuff from this side of the board. Harsha will go here trying to attack the pawn. If b6, there's nd7 check, so he needs to play b5. Harsha goes knight e4. Now he'll play nd6 and try to attack this pawn, and he will have to defend this from here or do some counterplay from this side. He plays h5, gh happens. Now h5, h4 is going to come, or will he play queen into h5? He plays g takes h5. Knight goes to d6, attacking the pawn. Queen to f1, knight to f5, f6. What's happening, guys? What do you think? Who is going to win this game? One thing is for sure, they are going to play this game until the end of this world. Knight h4. Queen goes to b1, controlling the knight's activity. Harsha goes back. This check will be given sooner or later, or when Paraben will be frustrated. Knight h4 now by Harsha, and Harsha wants knight on f5. He could have given the check. Now he's just putting his king on very safe square. Maybe he will also do this at some point. Harsha is out of danger for sure. But if Paraben loses any of these one pawns, it will be very difficult for him. And now some checks are coming, and it's very likely that he will lose some pawn, or maybe the king h4, king h5. We never know. He'll just maybe give check, and thoda tang karenge. And look, guys, now it's 28 seconds versus 30 seconds. It's very, very close. Now both play down to 26 seconds. And what's going to happen? They're moving so fast. Knight e4 maybe next. Knight d6 again, or rook f4 again. He went knight f3, knight h4. Queen b2, king h2. Oh my god. Maybe I need to go to live chess and and the game ends by repetition by draw. Both players had 17 and 19 seconds. Oh no, oh no. I don't know who is sad right now after draw, because both players at times declined draw and played for win. But in the end, the game ended in a draw. And this was the last game of this round. Ronald Sadwari won this round as well, moving to 3 out of 4 points. And now we do have, or we don't have. Where's Ronald? Ronald drew. Oh, that was previous game, my bad. That was previous game. So still guys, we have to wait for some Indian to be in top 10, but we do have Harsha and Ronald at 2.5 out of 4 after 4 rounds. Indian and Arjun is also fighting there. So we do have 4 or 5 Indian grandmasters fighting. Sham is still yet to score some points. Not having good day, but very soon I think he will also get some guy to have fun with. Round 5 will be starting very soon. So if I can show you this thing, or maybe I can make a new window to show you the detailed standing or the cross table of the players. But right now what you are seeing is the standings of top 8. So we have Hikaru at number 1, then Entrikin is there, Grishuk, followed by Sven Ramos, Parham is there, Jose has bounced back with a win in the previous round, and round 5 has started. Now let's have a look at Entrikin versus Hikaru, because Hikaru is on 4.4 points and Entrikin is 3.5. Hikaru has white, so it's very obvious that he will still have the lead going into the round 6 or 7 of the event. And looks like Entrikin is not at the board. Hikaru has played his move in 1 sec, but Entrikin is taking more than 30 seconds for his first move, which is already a big disadvantage to play against Hikaru. Okay, let's move to Harsha's game until then. He's playing blue bomb. Or we can also have a look at Ronald's game, as previous game he played very quickly, so he'll be very fresh. And look guys, he made 6 moves in 4 seconds. He's playing with God speed right now. E4, E5, and he's playing very quickly some crazy lines against a player who played candidates last time, Alexenko Kirill. Knight on h4, let's flip the board, as we are supporting Ronald tonight. And guys, this is some new Royal Lopez, some Ronald Zindagi Royal Lopez, and G2 is under attack. Like, it's move number 7, it's E4, E5 where you play N6 on second move, and this knight has done some, I don't know which way it navigated like this and attacking the G2 pawn. Like, I've never seen something like this happening in Royal Lopez in my whole life. And probably so as Alexenko, and he took like 2 minutes 10 seconds until this point. And if I am not sure, maybe G3 was better to kick the bishop. Now Ronald can go knight d4, and this knight d4 makes more sense than his knight d5 as it attacks the bishop. So Ronald has definitely gained some tempos here and will kick the knight very soon and try to get d5 if possible, or at least b5, and try to get the bishop out of the board to get d5 in the end. I think Ronald is having good position, but it's not so good because he can also kick the knight and get knight to f5. So it's definitely interesting, something new and double-edged at the same time. He goes c6, knight e3 back. Now I wanted to play b5 and kick the bishop. Hi Chesscom. Guys, we have Grandmaster Akash in this chat. b5, attacking the bishop. Definitely this is very bad because then you give the bishop. So I don't know, but I don't like bishop going here or here as well. I don't know what is, but he has to play this because this is even more sad. He goes to b3 and gives up the bishop. But also there's a rule, one should not take it immediately. When he attacks, then you take the b3. You can just make some moves like castle or some improvement like h6 bishop g5 or something. Just make any move which will improve your position, like d6 opening the bishop, and just take when he attacks the knight. Also preventing an f5 possibilities with the bishop having option to take on f5. Very strange position, to be honest. However, I don't see any other move apart from c3 because d3 hardly makes any sense. But again, it's a useful move. You can think of that. And Ronald may still just castle. Also, h6 is interesting. It's like just doing some desi stuff. But Alexenko is not desi stuff, guys. He is a typical Russian guy who will play all principal chess. So he decides to kick the knight from the center of the board. और आप दोस्तों देखते रौनक जिंदगी बिशप g5 खेलती है, h6 खेलती है या डायरेक्टली कैसल खेलती है without any fear. He plays castling without any fear. He's like, come beta, come play h6, I'll play g6, and in the end game I'll grab the pawn when the rook won't be here. Maybe he's waiting for his opponent to play g3 and then get bishop g5. I like to play bishop g5 because I don't like some desi stuff happening with h6, and in the end he decided to play bishop g5 and prevent some h6 stuff. d3 now, maybe he wants knight f5 or knight g4 with the idea of h6 again. White has only one plan in this position, to go h6 in the end. White would love to exchange one bishop as black is having bishop pair. और white को पता नहीं शायद king center में अच्छा लगेगा. Ronak is gaining some space on the queen side meanwhile, and now this becomes an obvious target after bishop e6. So he goes b4 directly and taking advantage that the rook is pinned. But now c8 into b4 is threatened, so he has to take on a5. And this exchange is probably going to help black as queen a1 is coming next move. So he castles. He is not interested in exchanging pieces at the moment, as he is also looking forward to complicate and win the game. But this favors black in my opinion. He can just play something like rook to a8 or maybe queen to somewhere like a2 a1. I don't know, maybe queen b1 next. And but Ronak be like, I don't like this move. What he wants with this move is really surprising to understand. Or he's putting a cheapo, like if ng4, then he wants this bishop c1 and some queen g5 stuff. But then again, anything is there. Maybe then he will go f5, ef5, maybe rook f5, but then c6 hangs. Not sure really what he wants with this move, but maybe he's just aiming for d5. But in my opinion, this was a better idea to go ahead with maybe queen a2, because queen a1 there's nc2, so maybe queen a2 and something like queen b1, and trying to activate the rook like this. Knight f5, and now if the pieces get traded, it will be a draw because it's a symmetrical structure. Let's have a quick look at Harsha's game, जिसका king थोड़ा फंस चुका है castling करने के बाद, and these pieces are playing 960 here. I don't know how this knight is going to come back into the game, and why the hell he played this move. Maybe it was forced as ne7, d6 was hanging. Looks like he played some Benoni after losing in King's Indian. Let's see what happened in the opening. He played Benoni, yeah. And after exchanging queens, this h4 h5 happened, and his knight has to cry in the corner. And it will take some while, guys, before the knight comes back into the game. Meanwhile, Harsha has created some counterplay on the queen side, attacking the b2 pawn. And the last move was bishop to f1, defending the b2 pawn. Now, how to continue in this position? One needs to attack this pawn, but how is the question? He can definitely play this move, rook to a4, but then again bishop. But then what? He can play rook a4, right? He wants to improve the knight, and he figured out the other way of doing it the same thing. He wants an f7 and g5, attacking the pawn. But if he plays bishop e5 and knight to g4, things aren't looking good for Harsha, as this is a very critical weakness. Bishop e5, knight g4, and I like White's position because the pawns are falling directly. I mean, there is just no way to defend them. Maybe rook a4 directly was needed. Rook a4 directly was needed, guys. Rook a4 directly was needed. This is... Wait. What? He played b4. Now this is surprising again. As now White gets time to get knight g5. Black gets time to get knight g5. If knight g5 comes, then White is going to suffer, because attacking these guys is not going to solve this problem. He can just play c4, and this will also be proved as a weakness later on. Not a good strategy by Blue Bomb here. I know it's very hard as a player or a grandmaster to take on e5 and give the beautiful bishop for this knight, but if it fixtures the structure of the black and gives you some material, guys, just do it. Just do it. Rules are meant to be broken. So just do it and play for the activity. Knights are also strong when they are outposts. So he could have done that, and now he didn't do that. So he has to suffer. Going back to Ronald's Zindagi, where life has started on h5 with some ideas against the Alexenko's Kirill king. Queen e7 पे चली गई है, and d5 is tempting, but one should first play b4, as black has nothing to show at the moment, at least. That's what I think. And players are thinking, and Kirill has played b4, the typical Russian way. Ronald is up on time, but there is no clear way to continue in the position. Just move some rook or queen somewhere where you don't create any weakness in general or particular. Let's see. He decided to just play rook to d8. Having some control on d5. Alright, so we have rook d8, queen to e2, and Ronald is just taking advantage of White moving the queen to e2 as it attacks the d4 pawn, and now Ronald can actually get the a file, but he again decides to get the h file instead of a file because Ronald believes in checkmating the opponent. And as I said, d5 was tempting and it happened, but now rook on d1 is helpful as the pawn on d6 will be hanging in future. But now queen g5, and knight has no really good spot, and this queen h6 threat is really annoying as this queen h1 is a checkmate threat. If queen f3, then some queen h2 can come, and the bar is falling, maybe queen e6 is also an option, but again the idea is same, one needs to go here. Or will he go f5, guys? I think Ronald Zindagi will go f5, guys. I think Ronald will go f5. What do you think? I think Desi Monster is going to play f5. Because Queen f6, there's nothing concrete yet. And I mean, Queen f6 is also happening, so this is just not possible as King g8 and e7 and King h7 the pawn hangs. So now Rook a7 is threatened. He needs to be careful here. Because if Queen f6, then the check comes, and King f8, and probably there's nothing here. He just takes the knight, which is also a good idea, as now King will be super safe on f6 whenever the check comes. Abhi to blunder hi hoga because bishop f7. And now we can just simply play Queen d2 or something like that. Or even the rook endgame should be winning for black, as this pawn is hanging, this pawn will be weak. He just plays King f6. He's like, कि भाई तू क्या check देगा, मैं पहले ही आऊँगा. But now this allows him to play rook a6, and which is a trap by Ronak. He just wants to checkmate Aleksenko if he goes up with the rook. Very clever, very active, and very smart so far by Ronak. Board पे भी आगे, position में भी आगे. And those who are just joined, let me remind you guys, he has played one round less. He has scored 2.5 in 3 games. This is round 5, and if he wins, like it will be like 3.5 out of 4. Just like Hikaru scored with one round less. So he's playing really nice. And he has played like Sharjah Masters का round. वो खेल के भाई इधर आया है अपना. And e4. He is now saying that king is going to come on e5. I mean, what? And then he will happily trade queens. मजाक बना के रखा है अलेक्सेंको का यहाँ पर. This is crazy, man. This is crazy. He's having fun, guys. He's having fun with the guy who played candidates last time. Good sign for Indian Olympiad team. And reason being in Indian Olympiad team, guys. Plays fearlessly. Rook to a1, queen to d2, and maybe e3 is also possible. He can just take the juicer as well. I like e3 because then again the rook is handicapped. Rook cannot move further. And if rook d1, simply ef2. So I mean, he's just not having any good move here. And let me know what happens if queen e1, guys. Quickly in the chat. What happens if queen e1? It's very easy. Quickly in the chat. How you will win in queen e1 after in just 3 moves. Black to play and win queen in 3 moves. And he blundered ef2. And again the same thing here. ef2, he has to play king g2, and we will just play queen to e3 or somewhere. He goes even much more beautiful. He finishes the game in a beautiful, stylish manner. He's like, कि भाई मैं तो मजे लेके मारूंगा. I'll make you resign this game. And Aleksenko just resigned the way he finished the game. This was just beautiful by Ronald. Just beautiful finish. Also ef2 was winning. The point was ef2. Whenever we play queen f2, we can just give rook h1 check, and king g2 he has rook h2, or take the queen and take the rook. The same was working for queen e1, and basically it was threatened. And generally, if after ef2 you play here, you can just go queen here, and again you take on f2, the h2 checks come. But Ronak has found much better way of finishing, because when the rook was on d1, it's attack the rook, and there's no option way of playing queen e1, and just an OP finish. Ronak OP in the chat, guys. Ronak OP in the chat. He has moved to 3.5 out of 5 and to the top 8. Meanwhile, Grishchuk drew the game. Parham drew with Dubov. Aronian drew with Ibarra. And where is my friend? Okay, Sham is playing. Let's have a look at Sham. Will he get his first win tonight? I'm missing Harsha. He won against Blue Bomb. That's beautiful. So we do have 2 guys on 3.5 out of 5 from India. Ronak as well as Harsha Bharat Koti. If you see the standings, Harsha is on number 5 and Ronak has come to number 9 at the moment. So they made their way to top 10. And as I said, the problem for Ronak will be the tie breaks, as he missed the first round. His Sonia Baga, which is tie break used on Chesscom, or another side will be always less as he has played less rounds. Generally it should be reverse, but that's not happening. And Sham is black here. He was trying to checkmate Grandmaster Gabrielian, but he escapes. And probably this game will end in draw. But throw lamba chalega, and this is the last game of the round 5 of Rapid Chess Championship. Let's have some like for Ronald's game. He played really beautiful game this round, like really impressive. I mean, to defeat Alexenko with black in such a way, it was really impressive. What a finish it was, like loved it. So this is round 5. Round 5 is here. Nakamura and Arjun drew their game. What, after just 2 moves? Oh wow. They just drew the game after 2 moves. They're very professional guys. They just want to qualify, reach top 8. Tomorrow anyway they have to fight for all the prize. So makes sense. And we know Naka, so better not to say much. Okay, and let's have a look at the game. Last game going on right now. What? Sham won? No, sorry, my bad. My bad. This is not round 1. This is not round 5. This is the previous game. Round 5 is here, and this is the game. So Sham has managed to get exchange, to be honest. How he got? Wow, he just gave the exchange. Like he's like, "Ki bhai tu kya jeetega ye?" But it's possible in a speed chess format. He just planned to flag him maybe. Will he manage him to flag? Takes. Maybe you have to see from live chess, but for some reason live chess or the play Chesscom play is not working. And wait, what? He has blundered this. He's losing this one. And Sham gets his first win, guys. Sham gets his first win. This was well fought win. You know, Sham ka bhai anda foot gaya and he gets the first win. Hard fought win for Sham. Well done, Sham. Well done, guys. He fights back and wins against Grandmaster Gabrielian Arjun, a famous strong gem from Russia, who is also struggling tonight. And round 6 will be starting very soon. And we will have a look at Harsha's or Ronald's game. He fights back and wins against Grandmaster Gabrielian Arjun. Let me know if you want some music to go with this stream or not. यार कुछ तो बोलो यार, इतने शांत मत रहो आज. Or you want me to play some bullet between the breaks? Round 6 अभी चालू नहीं हुआ है. And this is how the standing looks like. Round 6 just got started. And Hikaru, guys, let's witness Hikaru making another draw in like 10 seconds. So they're going to play this, and the game will end in draw. I don't know if Hikaru is streaming or not, but he's just making draws to qualify. Not a bad idea actually, strategy, like win first 3-4 games and just make draws. Anyway, one needs to be in top 8. And it's very rare to win. I mean, people will have so many wins. But Harsha is fighting, guys. So let's have a look at Harsha's game. As he's playing against Dubov. And this time, again he opted for Benoni. Now, and Dubov also likes to play Benoni. So this is going to be interesting. Let's see how this game goes further. He's aiming for maybe, he plays b6. another slow setup and a line in which people also play bishop a6 sometimes. He's just saying, Dubov, show me what you are going to plan and just show me how you're going to beat me. I'm just going to play slowly. It's an interesting line. Not so good, but playable. And Ronald is playing Kovalov. And we are having Nimzo Indian with the fight going on for the e4 break here between both the players. If e4 now, maybe just take twice and maybe go h4. He goes bishop b4 for the same reason as he was losing the e4 pawn after h4. Now maybe he will make sure first rook e1 happens and then e4. And if h4, then there's an f5. Oops, there's an f5 coming in. And maybe h3 is possible, but then g4 and this pawn may fall later on. The position is double-edged and interesting at the same time. Dubov decided to go a4 and he goes na6 and maybe next in c7. But now this gives chance to play bishop b5. This is one drawback playing b6 and knight a6. In this model is, if your rook is on e8, then white can actually play bishop b5 and you cannot play bishop d7 as a6 hangs. And generally you don't want to put this knight on d7. And guys, Dubov, being expert of this line, knows all these small differences, all these points, and he goes bishop b5. And maybe he will also go bishop here and ask this rook to move on. And I don't know, maybe he'll just play rook e1, knight b5 and quarantine q stop there. Rook is going rook e1, he's not claiming this directly. Maybe he will go knight c7 and then maybe he will go bishop here and knight c4, bishop f4. So now the problem in black's positions is few pieces got misplaced, but it's not necessary that he will play this. He can also go knight b4 and change his plan with a6 and some other bishop moving or somewhere, or maybe just go b5 at some point. So Benoni always gives some flexibility, more ideas, more chances. Thinking. As white and black has a lot of options, lot of moves to make. He decides to go knight to b4. As NC7 was not making much sense, as bishop c6 was obvious, and then rook on b8 was not looking good. At least now he prevents this, and definitely a4 has drawback that the b4 square is weak. Now Dubov wants some bishop f4 e5 stuff and attack this guy. But what if a6? Is he going to put bishop on c6 like that and allow knight c6, dc6? Maybe. We never know, guys. Harsha goes knight g4. It's not a good idea currently because rook is blocking the queen's way. So queen h4 is never happening. Maybe he just wants knight e5, rook e5, something like that. But again, it's not a good idea. He can at least play bishop f4 and trade some pieces and black some pieces are misplaced. One must agree. Even something like h3, knight e5, and he moves his knight to a3 or e3, and then f4 will come. Don't know. It's complicated, but let's see, guys. It's interesting at the same time. Maybe some sacrifices are possible. Maybe he can sacrifice at some point, something like this. Bishop may come here. There are some weaknesses. So let's see. And maybe after this round there will be break for some time, as 2/3 of the event will be finished. So maybe we can have a quick look at Prux game from the other event which is going on. h3 played here. Knight e5 on the board. Can he play bishop g5? I think that was Dubov's idea. And when he plays f6, then maybe he will take on e5. No. Did he just blunder knight d3? Wait, did he just blunder knight d3? Or he calculated bishop d6? I doubt. Because I can just simply see knight e1, bishop takes e7, queen takes e7, queen e1, and then knight c2 and you lose material. So it's just formal calculation. जहाँ तक मुझे दिख रहा है, NED3 is working for black. However, Bar is saying it's more or less equal. But I like black after knight d3. Whatever you say, guys. And Harsha is like he's thinking why he allowed knight d3 and is there any hidden idea or trap after knight d3, bishop d6, knight e1 and maybe just sacrifice some material. Also a6, this move is also always critical because the bishop is trapped, and when you play bishop c6, now you can get back the pawn, and anyway you lose this pawn, but then you have d7 pinning the stuff on the diagonal on the file. So maybe he's confused between which line is better, a6 or knight d3. And to be honest, one cannot decide actually what is better in a rapid game. He needs to just go with the instincts and play the move which he feels is best, as he's getting low on time now. What do you think, guys? What's your instinct? What does your instinct say? Knight d3 or a6? Also a6 means you have to calculate knight e5 lines, by the way. But there's a b5. Knight c6 takes and there's a lot. But this is, crystal clear. Like knight d3, he takes on d6, you simply take on e1, he takes on e7, you take on e1. Whenever he takes on e1, you have knight c2 and you get the exchange. This is like clear line, in my opinion, than the a6 one, because a6 was more complicated. This is like, all forcing lines, simply you get the exchange. Bishop e7, queen e7. I don't say queen e1. Okay, queen e1 is also possible. Giving double exchange sack, but that's a bit too much, right? Thing is, like queen 7, knight a1, queen a1 के बाद भी the rook has no good spot. Like rook b7 is like like देखने में कैसा तो लगता है. But then bishop c6 is there, so he will get one exchange back for sure. But at the end of the day, you have to take you have to take the rook and give one of the bishop. So. Like he goes for double exchange sack, and of course Harsha will take it because there's no other move than apart from not taking it when offered. Interesting. He goes knight c2. So far as per the plan. He gets the exchange. Knight a1. And wait, look at this. He's attacking the second rook. Dubov rule is really funny. Like when one piece is attacked, like एक piece hanging था, दूसरा piece पर attack था. Dubov भी like भाई मैं तीसरे पर attack करता हूँ. इसको किसी का defense, किसी का support नहीं है. Now the problem with this move is he takes here, and then there is d6. The problem is you cannot defend the bishop. So the natural looking move bishop b7 is not possible, and rook b8 is not possible because bishop is here. So this rook is gone. But what happens if bishop a6? Then he will take this and this rook. Anyway, he will get this. So he survives. So how to punish Dubov for doing these crazy things? Because Bar shows some advantage, because I cannot figure out how actually he can punish this, and this is really critical. maybe some more like rook d7 is possible. When he takes here, we can take on d6 because this bishop is important. Maybe rook d7 is the option. Or how about, anti-positional bishop c3 and then take on e4. Like you don't care about anything. I think this is interesting because you follow Dubov rule. Like one guy is attacked, second guy is attacked, third guy is hanging under attack, and you take the fourth one and put fifth guy under attack. So I think this Dubov rule has to be made with Dubov rule. इसे लोहा लोहे को काटता है. I think he needs to play bishop c3 followed by rook e4 and ask Dubov कि भाई तू क्या मारेगा पहले बता. क्या बोलते हो? अरे ऐसे and he goes for that. अब आएगा ना मजा भिड़ू. So he decides to take bishop c3. He takes on e7. Okay, it's obvious, queen e7. And now again Dubov's option to take three juices. This is good stuff. This is good stuff by Harsha. He takes on c3 because this bishop is important. Now, okay, there's only one more. I think rook b8, and he takes on a1, and then he will take on e4, maybe in d6, and queen e5, and okay, he's exchange up. So I think Harsha is game is under control of Harsha. Let's flip the board as we are watching this game from Harsha's side. Again, no bishop d7 because of d6, guys. Don't forget this key move and key idea in this position. And Dubov's entire plan or strategy or trap, whatever you call it. But why Harsha is taking so much time? Like this is only obvious move. Is he thinking about bishop a6 also? Okay, defends the pawn. Maybe he was worried about d6 because it is followed. D7 is then obvious again. Yeah, d6 is possibility. d6 I don't know where to go. Maybe g5 and d7 just take, or maybe bishop a6 because d8 is guarded with rook and queen. So d6, queen g5, and the threat is bishop into h3. So you cannot really play queen into a1. And if d7, okay, bishop d7 or bishop a6. Bishop a6 is definitely possible. Maybe knight e5 there. And then you play queen e5, d8 queen, rook d8 takes, and king g7. Enough, I think. And now Dubov is thinking how to complicate again. He plays e5. Oh my god, oh my gosh, oh my god. This is crazy, man. He's complete rook down. He don't want to push pawn either. Also, he don't want to take the knight. तो देसी अटैक की भी हद होती है भाई, एक सीमा होती है. Can it be something like bishop s3, queen g5? No guys, that will be reaction of an impatient player. One should try like maybe queen h4 or queen g5, or even this is like normal. Trying to exchange pieces. You are maturely up, just trade and rule. Easy, just put queen somewhere and just trade. That's it. Queen is not because bishop d5, so maybe queen e8 is better idea. He goes queen e6. He's not worried about bishop d5. Why? Because he's a rook up, guys. He don't care. He's not bishop d5. Oh wow, he has bishop into a4. I think this was missed by Dubov, and Harsha is known for finding such sneaky tactics. He's known for it, guys. He's known for it, and he has done it very beautifully against the master of doing such things. Daniel Dubov. Harsha getting Daniel Dubov with beautiful play, guys. Harsha OP in the chat. Now Dubov has no option but to resign or play rook down. This is just over. The pawns are not going anywhere, but full marks for Dubov for creativity and full marks +1 for Harsha for being accurate and enough tricky to seal the game. Just rook a8 is also enough. If queen b6 then these hands, so there's nothing really much left in this game. Wait, Dubov is playing like a rook and a queen down. Like he had last trick of queen e8 check. Even like if it takes, like he's still a piece down. So I think now it's high time to go. I think he'll also play e6. He don't want to resign. Like if he haven't resigned yet, he'll also play e6. No, he just played queen e8. And now he's playing e6. I told you. It doesn't matter. Like he can just take here also and just take on e6. It doesn't matter. He can even do this, but he will lose knight in that process. So better to take on e8 and then take on e6. That's the simplest. Rook e8, let him queen, you take on e6 and simply, it's GG. Simplest. And queen यहाँ पे नहीं थी, अगर होती तो knight बना देते, but now I think Dubov will resign. Because he has to. He is not resigning, guys. He is not resigning this game. He is not resigning this game, but nothing much left in this. And let me know how do you find the music going on with the game. Queen c2 is possible. Just play knight c5 knight d3, bro. He wants to trade pieces, but you can always improve your knight first. Just improve your knight, and yeah, he goes for knight c5, and maybe he'll just do this next, irrespective of whatever he plays. Also h4. Okay, he just used the pawn. Is he playing for? I don't know what he's playing for, but Harsha will like let's trade queens, and Dubov finally resigns. And Harsha Dubov's Dubov here, and moves to 4.5 out of 6 games. Number 4 पे आ चुके हैं, just behind Grishchuk, जिससे वो हारे थे. Very good comeback by Harsha. Now even if he makes 3 draws, he'll qualify, as he's having very good tiebreak as he played Grishchuk and defeated Dubov and very strong players like Kirill and all. So they'll make some points, and that will help Harsha for sure. So Harsha is having really good chances to qualify. Meanwhile, Ronald drew his game against Kovalov. It seems if we just go to round 6, Ronald versus Kovalov, yes, the game ended in a draw. And we have Chu playing Sham Savian. Aronian drew, Sham Sundar lost, Arjun won. Alright, okay, this is winning, so let's not watch this. Let's see some other game. Or maybe have a quick look at, okay, this is also over. So round 6 is almost finished, except this one game, which is winning for white. And now we will move to maybe Brock's game, or take a short break and then look at his games, because there will be some break after 6 rounds. 2/3 of the event has been finished. 3 more rounds to go of 10+0 Rapid. Chess.com Rapid Chess Championship week 15 Swiss qualifier. We hope Harsha qualifies, and we'll be right back in few time, very soon.
White does not win this, this is such a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Oh, but he could even lose this. 98!
No, that's too much.
David, I don't know what to say.
I need a moment to recover from that.
This couldn't be right. Oh,
Whoa, Queen H1.
I'm out. I'm gonna see y'all tomorrow.
What a great move.
And then Rook takes G3 back, and the queen's trapped. That is one of the most amazing queen
my
traps I've
God.
seen. Wait, B5. Oh my gosh. He's losing a piece. And look at him. He looks away. He can't believe
Oh
it.
my god.
Nihal trying to give checks, but actually now the pawn is moving forward. The pawn cannot be stopped. Bishop D6.
Oh, you win the time!
He loses on time.
What did we just witness? I think that White's position is about to collapse.
Yeah, but he sacrifices again. But
Oh
it's not a
my
sacrifice.
God.
It's a double attack.
My bad, guys. You should have told me that audio is not coming. Okay, now I'm audible. It is so sad that I just saw the message. I forgot to turn off the mic. And hope now I'm audible. So Harsha is trying to save this game. I was talking about how Harsha is defending this game. And he just needs to make some draws to be in top 8. So, and he played a very beautiful game against Dubov previously to be here. And I was also talking about the bishop defending both the pawns. So no real as such weakness. But now h3 is hanging. New problem. But always there's some counterplay with rook a to rook b7. And it will take lot of time to win this pawn as it's very far. You can just go rook a7 and put rook behind the passed pawn and things are sorted. Thank you Manish, Sunny, Bhavish and Niranjan Bhai for letting me know this. At least हमारी chat तो जाग गई यार. So guys, there's always something good in everything. So rook a7 is coming next. And if he takes the pawn on h3, then he cannot defend the b7 pawn. So he goes back with the king to defend this guy. Harsha goes rook to h7 and now he's eyeing at the e pawn instead of the b pawn. This is going to be draw, guys. This is going to be draw. I don't see anything because there are very less pawns remaining. 2 versus 3 minutes not really possible to flag. But Sham trying really hard. He wants to come up with the king maybe. Rook d4. Is he going to attack this? Or is he going to win pawn like this? Oh, this is really beautiful idea. But then the h6 will hang. He just needs to play king e2, let's say. Or rook e8 first. Anyway, he goes here, you go here, he takes here, you take this. And it's sorted. So Sham also has enough weakness in his position. And if Sham ने मस्ती की दोस्तों तो ये h pawn भारी पड़ सकता है. ये हल्के में लेने वाला pawn नहीं है. This pawn has potential to become queen if not taken care of. So इसको हल्के में मत लेना. 2 moves and then this pawn will start rolling. Probably Sham has realized and is thinking. He goes rook c4. I would just love to put bishop here and start pushing the pawn. As I said, the bishop guards the pawn very nicely. If rook c2, then king d1. And guys, nothing will happen. Just push, push, push. Also, this check is possible but not needed, as it will help black. King b5, and guys, look, this pawn is moving and this bar is suddenly liking white's position slightly. It was like 0.00 or equal plus, but now slowly the bar likes white's position because as I said, this pawn is not halke mein lene wali cheez. Once it's now he has to go like this and defend. Now look, something like rook into e4 and now Harsha is pawn up. And now he will start pressing this position. Meanwhile, Hikaru has won against Parham and he has qualified with 2 rounds to spare with 6 points. Generally 6 points are enough to qualify in such kind of events. Now it's very important to trade the bishops because if you keep the bishops, then it's really hard to defend this. Yes, he goes for that. He's 2700 guys for a reason. And once the bishops are off the board, the game is drawn. Like he can still play something like bishop g5 or something, but okay, Harsha calls the day. He's like, enough. We all had enough. This is going to be draw, just make draw and that's it. Some check, something, f4. And this will be drawn, guys. He will play this, he'll push. Or they will find another way to make draw. He goes rook h3, he'll go rook b5, he'll go king e4 and they'll take each other's pawn. But not yet. Come on, play this. You play this. He goes down, he goes there. He goes behind the pawn. Will he go behind the pawn as well? Sorry, in front of the pawn as well. Okay, he just goes for the pawn. Pawn for pawn. And game is strong. They're not playing to flag each other. They are just waiting for someone to offer draw. And hope they don't blunder something like this. What? Why they're playing? Just offer draw, bro. Are they playing to flag each other? Suddenly, 3-4 मुझे साथ. Suddenly 3-4. What? Unreal, unbelievable. Just offer draw, bro. You have 40 seconds. What are you doing? Why this mouse sleep? I mean, Harsha, bro, what? You cannot do this after playing so well. You played so nice throughout the event, and now you just moved to number 9 spot. If you could have drawn this, you could have been around number 5. Can you believe this, guys? This happening? I mean, this is so sad. Unbelievable, like. And Ronald also lost to Botanik. Not a good round for Indian GMs. But guys, there are 2 rounds still left, and if they win both of them, they can still qualify. As Harsha is on 4.5, he just need 1.5 to be in top 8. Meanwhile, Ronald will need 2 games to win because he is on 4 points. Still, he has to see the tie breaks. But this was like he was so close. I mean, and he lost this. That was, I mean, guys, it's painful. It's very painful. Okay, let's go for the round 8 if it has started, not yet. This is the standing. Hikaru, Dimitri, Andrew Kane, Grishchuk, Martinez, Jose, Sham, Botanik because he won, Kovalev, and Harsha is still at number 8. But I'm not sure 5.5 will be enough to qualify. Generally 6 points are needed. So 4.5 is enough. But currently he's at number 8 because his tiebreak is very good as he played Grishchuk, defeated Dubov, Sham, Alexenko, Kirill, and so on. So his tiebreak is good, but he will still need 1.5 point or maybe at least 1 in the worst case to be. I think 1.5 will be needed because there are guys who will make 6 points to qualify. Okay, now moving to the next round. If it has started, not yet, not yet. Wait, is there any game going on in this round? No, not really, not really, not really. And then this was the another Indian Grandmaster was playing, Bharat Subramaniam, who has managed to beat the Grandmaster Potkin Vladimir by playing probably Benoni. Oh, sorry, it was E4, so it was Sicilian Khan Taimano. And he lost some tempos, but still managed to win. As he had 2 bishops. Yeah, and once the position gets open, like it's over. That's it. Round 8 is not yet, not yet. Alright, chat. So what's up? Or we can have a look at Prog's game. Prog is still fighting on, by the way. He's still fighting on. He's still fighting on, guys. Let's play some music. Queen f4. Look at this. It's not oh no my queen. It's a checkmate, guys. It's a checkmate. Interesting, very interesting, and very solid queen sacrifice by Shakriyar Namidarao. Prag immediately goes queen f8. He knows the danger. Rook e7 coming in. This is not looking good for Prag. Knight e6 coming next. Maybe at some point. Maybe queen h6 is also possible. If not yet. If you're taking h8, if you don't take h8, then queen h6 is possible. Otherwise not. Just look at this. King h8, queen h6, queen g8, and guys rook e8. How beautiful finish it will be. You don't do such blunders in such kind of positions. Right now he needs to serve the bishop, and the problem is if he goes bishop c8, he can just play queen e3 and rook e8 will be unstoppable. So that's the problem in Prag's position, and that's why he's thinking. And down to 40 seconds now. Guys, like to maro yaar, like mara karo. He goes bishop c6. Okay, makes some sense. Queen e5, and again the threat will be alive. But then he can at least go bishop a4, and if queen d5, he can hope to survive with b5 or some magical tricks if they exist. I saw previously Vidit lost to Magnus, and this round is going on. All the players are playing. Vidit playing B, and the games are going on. Vidit is winning this, so probably he'll also qualify if he wins this. He will be still in draw in the last round to qualify. And going back to our Rapid Chess Championship. Round number 8 has started. Hikaru has just made draw. Andrigan is playing Sham, and Harsha is playing against Maksudlu Parham, who lost to Hikaru previous game. Tough pairing for Harsha, as he has to score something with black pieces against Parham. And Ronald Zindagi is playing against Kobo Ori. I think he's gonna have some fun here. It looks like he has lost his key pawn on d3 and as well as the bishop. But where is the rook? In Ronald game, every game I'm seeing something crazy stuff happening. Something is always missing. For example, this game the rook is missing on from 8 in like 5 moves from now. And how this happened? Wow. This is also some kind of a theory nowadays. And I don't know, like, okay, black has got like what? Black has just like 2 bishops, I mean bishop pair and like not even a pawn for exchange, like just a bishop. But okay, black has kept like tied down white's pieces, like he can play bishop c6, maybe queen e7. And when he plays queen e2, he has an f4 or knight c1 options. So yes, some compensation, but I doubt it's enough. Like, also nb3 is coming, forcing some trades, but then he will lose a pawn. Let's see how he reacts to this, and we will have a look at Harsha's game. Let's flip the board. Param has got knight to c5 and Harsha has got knight to d4. Bishop g4 is possible here, but then probably he will take, and then Harsha has 2 options to choose from. This is the only possible move. I don't see any other move because bishop is attacked and one won't like to play bishop c8. It's very sad. Bishop g4, knight b7. What's happening? That's needed to be checked in some case. Okay, so he decided to take the knight and then go bishop g4. And as Parham got two bishops, he's not interested in any tactics, doing any tactics, because he has long-term advantage. He just defends the e2 pawn and asks Harsha, what are you doing next? Harsha goes active, he goes queen b6 and plays in the spirit of the Persian, attacking the knight. अब ये घोड़ा कहाँ जाएगा? Or next he can just play rook d8 or defend the guy. And these knights are really strong. One cannot play e3 or f3 because there will be threat something. There is a pin, the pawn is hanging. Maybe knight d3 is a good idea because it will defend the b2 pawn as well as attack the e5 pawn, which will attack the g4 bishop. So maybe knight d3 is a good idea, forcing white to play something like queen d6 or queen d6. Let's see where he goes. And let's put some crazy music. He goes 93. And I was thinking to go probably one of these two squares. Well, there's a double attack. He goes queen d6. Okay. But almost lost. Bishop h5. h3 happening next, bishop d6 happening next. I think it's better to just put rook on d8 and e8. Will look very good. Mature but a bit more ambitious when his shot was not needed because he had two bishops. There was just no need to create some weakness with this. But maybe he got excited because he's getting bishop to b4, and that is something which counts. After bishop b4, he needs to defend all these guys. Maybe queen e6 again, and maybe again some combos is getting. It makes sense to go g4 in that case if he gets so many things. But in the long run, it's not good. If he doesn't get anything like more or a 2, black will just happily play this, and black will be alright. Queen will start feeling awkward very soon. He goes queen f6.
Listen to the
Keeping eye
incredible
on
story
weakness.
of a 47-year
f4 by Parham. Parham be like कि भाई Parham भाई इतना गर्म क्यों हो गए तुम? थोड़ा ठंडा लो भाई. Why you are accelerating so much when it's not needed? Now there are some tricks definitely, and Harsha is the one who is master of it. For the moment, he has just played queen to g5, defending the guy, not going for any tactical ideas with queen b6, bishop e7, and some double checks, triple checks to nahi aa rahe, but some tricky lines at least. For the moment, he is just going queen to g5, saying okay, just h5, and what are you doing? What was f4 and e5? What was that? He's asking simply. And now Parham has no other option but to take here and here, because if we don't do that, then f3, h5 will be killer. I mean, will kill everything. Like even he can just sacrifice some material like that, because the king is really weak. Knight is really strong in the center. He needs to get this knight off the board. Otherwise, it will be winning, if not. It will be plus for black. Let's see how he reacts now. And let's see how Ronald what Ronald is doing here. Ronald is exchange up, but looking at his king doesn't look very good, because g5 is coming and the checkmate is unavoidable. Yeah, he's not winning this. g5, how to stop g5? He cannot really play g3 because then there's a queen h3. Oh no. Ronald getting crushed here. Maybe he's tired. He played Sharjah Masters and then this. But he started very beautiful, like 3.4 out of 4 tonight. He plays rook g1, trying to do something if he opens the g file. but it's really hard to get this pawn off the G. I mean, to remove this pawn, because when you touch this pawn, you get checkmated. Instead of going G5, Kobo Ori goes F5, which is also interesting as he wants to get the rook into the game. And as this pawn is missing, this is probably lost. So now India's only hope is Grandmaster Harsha Bharatkoti, who is actually doing well against Param Maksudlu. He decided to play Rook C1, and as I said, he can just go H5 or some. Okay, Rook D8 is also a good idea because he put some pressure along the diagonal. I mean along the D file, and it's a pin. Maybe now it's almost forced to take on E7. If we don't take, then H6 is coming. So probably take Knight F4 is possible. And if there's no discovery or something, okay, NC2 is there at least, but there's an D5, there's a Queen C5 check, King goes to H1, and Param survives actually somehow for the moment. There's no direct finish, at least I can spot. Can we have a poll, guys? Poll about will Harsha qualify tonight? He needs to get in top 8. Currently he's at number 9 because Hikaru and his opponent drew. So then Hikaru moved to 6.5 while his opponent moved to 5.5. And Maksudlu is, because if he draws, then still he will have a chance, but then he will have to win the last game. I think this is the game to be won because the king is weak. But now the next move is really important. If N-set is not working, then what else to be figured out? Where he can go? How? Because Ng6 is coming, and you know the b7 is also hanging. If king remains on H1, it will be very, very safe. So he needs to do something immediately. Something very, very active. Nc2 and d5. Okay, he goes for Nc2 and d5 line. Is he going for some rook d5 or what? Because Queen c5 we didn't find anything special previously. Rook d5, bishop d5, also rook d8 is interesting, but he can at least take here and play rook to e1, rook to d8 or rook to e8. Yeah, that in game also he has chance, but it's very difficult that he will win against Parham. Like, he is a very resourceful player. He's ahead on clock 1 minute. He needs to play fast, I guess. If he plays slow, then it will be a draw or very difficult to convert. Already bar shows equal. Let's see how it goes. He goes for Queen c5 check, and what I didn't like about this check position or check is after King h1 there's nothing much for black to show off. And this knight is unnecessarily pinned. He can just play rook e2 and get the juicer. What he wants with this move is really hard to understand. It's like really, really hard to understand. He just goes King h1 and then what? Maybe he wants to complicate with rook c8 and what is most surprising is Parham taking like more than 30 seconds for this position. Like, I mean, okay, what are the options? King h2 and King h1. There are two possibilities. King h2 we can already eliminate because King h2 there is rook d5, bishop d5 and there is a queen e2 to check followed by knight e1 and losing some material there. So I think King h1 is the only option. I don't see anything else. Why is taking so much time? क्या परहम का डन इट ठीक है? He played King h1 and then rook c8 immediately, rook e2. And now again black करेगा क्या next? That is the question. It's not easy position. और अगर हल्के में लिया तो ये नाइट चला जाएगा. King goes to h8, okay. Makes some sense because at least now ये सब threats तो नहीं आ रहे. Like h5 भी कैसे खेलेगी? He'll just take on h5 and there's nothing. So he goes h6, creating some space for the king. Now maybe he can just move the knight and there's just no time to take on e5 because even if you do that, takes and he loses this guy. And this is pin is khalas. This pin is just GG. Bishop e4 is coming. Oh no, Harsha, what is this? This is coming and the piece is gone. Oh no. E6. He's not interested in getting the piece. He just wants to push the pawn and get the piece. Param way of doing. King h7. Okay, Harsha is doing this. Will he play e7 or will he play bishop e4? He can actually play bishop e4. There is just no need to play e7. Why to give a pawn? Why to give a passed pawn, to be honest? In other games, if we talk about, Ronald lost as it was almost checkmating position. Let's have a look at Arjun's game. It's a long time we haven't seen his game. Arjun is trying to hold against Grandmaster Swan Ramos, and this looks like a draw. He's at how many points? He's at 4 points. Yeah, he's at 4 points. Because so he also needed to win this to be in the race to qualify. Indian was on 3 points, so he's out of the race. E4, King F4 is possible next. So when he's trying to push, I don't like this move. You can just play King F4. Yeah, King F4 is on the board. What is doing? King E5, allowing E5, King F5. Maybe E5, King E6 and his life is sorted, or maybe E6 he wants G3 and he's also hoping कि भाई हमें भी कुछ मौका मिले, हम भी थोड़ा बहुत पुश कर ले, क्यों ना हम भी बहती गंगा में हाथ धो ले. So G3, can he play King F5, G2, something like Rook C1, G1, he takes, then E6 and we can have some fun here. Takes and still it will be a draw. But will we have some fun here? Will he play King F5 or will he just come back directly? Also he can put this rook, because this rook is more active than this guy. And now king may even go here. So I think it's white who has chance to win this game, not black anymore. But he's down to 43 seconds. Rook goes to C8. And now wait, what? This is not looking good for white because G2 is coming. Is Arjun going to swindle this one? I don't see anything because G2 and there is Rook F1. If Rook G1 there is still Rook F1. If Rook C1 just take on C1 and you make a queen. How is going to defend this? Or maybe he has some resource with Rook E8 check, King moves and then A6 and take this. And then D7 is happening. Then there's a G1 check and then Rook D6, Rook D7. What? He takes on D7. Wait, what is happening? He played D7 and Rook G3 check was winning, but he missed that move in time pressure, and now the endgame is drawn according to the machine again. But Rook into D1, Rook into G2, and again Rook back to D7. He's going to win a pawn for sure. Wait, what? He decided to keep this pawn, and now this endgame is drawn. He'll just play E4, E5. So there's just no chance. Can he flag him? That is the only question. Harsha lost there. He pushed this pawn so much. And what? King e7 is winning. King e7 is winning and he blundered. And guys, we will have Arjun moving to 5 points. We will have Arjun moving to 5 points, guys. He's very expert in end games and a theoretician who is going to win this. What a swindle by Arjun. Arjun OP in the chat, guys. Not the irrigation this time, but the Kalyan, who has won this game and moved to 5 points and probably near top 10 because he has at number 12, guys. If he wins the next round, he has still chances to qualify. 6 points पे दोस्तों qualify होते हैं. ये इस tournament का rule है. This is crazy, guys. This is crazy. Arjun managed to swindle this one. And that was epic. That was epic, guys. When in time pressure, everyone, कोई भी दोस्तों blunder कर सकता है, कोई भी, when kept under pressure. Talking about the round 8 of this event. So Sham lost to Andrew. Harsha lost sadly in the end to Parham. He had very good position. Ronald got actually outplayed and got checkmated. So what he used to do to others, finally that happened to him in the end. And that's life, guys. Arjun won. Swindling game. Last round pairings are out. Parham playing Andrew. And Arjun is playing Jui, guys. He has got a beatable opponent. If he wins this game, he will qualify. So let's stick to his game. He's at number 12 right now in the standings. And let's see if he can qualify tonight and make it to his first ever appearance in the knockouts of Rapid Chess Championship, where every week there's a prize fund of $20,000 with 7,500 for the first. A4 on the board. Will he play short castle or will he go for h6 g5 ideas? Now there are two ideas possible, but right now it's white to play. Let white decide whether he wants to play knight d2 or something with rook e1 or something with b4. So Arjun giving enough options to white, and he played h6. Will he go g5 in future or will he just play long short castle? He played short castle. Okay, makes sense. No need to hurry, guys. No need to hurry. जिंदगी बहुत बड़ी है, लंबी है. Just copy your opponent when you play Ralu plays, and nothing will happen. Will Arjun qualify is the question, and let's see other pairings. Harsha is playing. If we talk about round 9 pairings, Harsha is playing Sam Savian, Ronald is playing Grandmaster from Indonesia, Indian is playing Powell, and that's it, guys. We have only 40 players left for the final round, and this is the game to watch out because legends have drawn the game, like Hikaru, Andrekin, and it's Andrekin who has won this event, to be honest, because I don't think anyone of the 6 points will win or something like that. There are already 5.5 points, and the guy who will win on 5 points will qualify, and one of these guys, Paravian and Maqsoodlu probably. So Maqsoodlu kaha gaya? Maqsoodlu is playing Andrekin. Oh, they are still playing. Is Hikaru still playing or he just made a draw? Wait a sec. Okay, whatever it is, let's just have a look at Arjun's game because okay, Maqsood and Andrekin playing. Let's just have a look at Arjun's game. So if Andrekin wins and Arjun wins, he's going to qualify. Maybe Maqsood is not making draw because he is not sure about that whether he will qualify or not. He's at number 8, and you know it's all about tie breaks. He's not having good tie breaks. He's having 18.75 the tie break. Arjun is having the worst tie break, not worst, but very sad tie break. But you know, if other people draws and he wins, he may qualify. So you know, stay tuned. कि क्या होता है? Lot of possibilities. Usually 6.5 people qualify. That's what I know. Knight d7. He's looking towards the king. He wants to shift the momentum, direction of the knights. And Joey will also be looking forward to win this game, because if he wins, he'll confirmly qualify, as he's already on 5 points with number 9 in the standings. And now c4 is on the board, trying to put more pressure on these pawns. Now Arjun will have to decide something. Oh no, he's just waiting, he's just calmly waiting. He's not in hurry. He has lifted his rook, but still some work is needed to be done. What would be ideal is knight g6, knight h5, put this knight on f4 and this rook to g6 with queen on d7. This will be the ideal plan for black to move forward. But jitna आसान कहना उतना easy होता नहीं execute करना, because when you play knight h5, always there are tricks with knight g5, knight hanging here, so one needs to be careful. But now it's possible, as queen has gone outside of the king side axis, so now queen is having access only towards the queen side, and now we can proceed with the plan. But one needs to be careful about the evil intention which he is having after moving the knight. Arjun needs to play very careful, and also ahead on the clock, because last game he won only because he was ahead on the clock. So he needs to be fast as well as precise. And try to do something on the king side. Try to generate some attack, some play, or kuch magic. He's thinking it's a critical moment, of course. He goes rook b8. He's like, okay, आखिर में किस पर attack करेगा, इस पर attack करेगा. And I don't want to trade some pieces, so let's just play rook to b8. क्यों जल्दी करना है? And also, if you play bishop e3 at some point, some trade happens, and then b4 can also be targeted, or it can be a weakness to be attacked on. That's why he took ab5, because after ab he gets the file. Though he's not covering the squares, sooner or later he will cover any of the 2 squares after the exchange of these bishops. Or even c5 is very interesting here for white, because the bishop has to go back, and there's no bishop a7 available, which is a natural square for the bishop. I think c5 is very good here, because take bishop b2, maybe rook coming to a6, knight coming to a5 or c5, looking very promising for white. I think directly ng6 or nh5 was needed after, or maybe directly just after queen c2. c5, he goes for that. And guys, if you want to send some message, do subscribe to the channel, because then only you will be able to send some message in the chat. We are very close to 50k subscribers. And if you want, guys, quality content Chesscom India, you need to we need to finish the goal of 50k subscribers before the Olympiad starts. So please help us making it something big for the Indian audience. D into C into D6 is possible. Queen into D6. If अगर खेलेंगे तो NC5 में रुक चला जाएगा. So there are problems in life. If you take like this, then the E5 hangs, and if you take like this, then you have to say goodbye to your rook after knight C5 whenever it comes. So there are some problems here. Also, white can play D4, and the rook is feeling awkward, because right now it looks difficult. Hope Joey goes wrong here. He has 2 good options to make, and also some hand moves to make, like bishop b2 or some rook a7. And it's just about one move. If he gets one move, he'll be all right. Let's see if he can get that one extra tempo or one free move. which will get him back into the game. d4 is on the board. Now the pressure is increasing around these pawns, and any piece attacks the rook, at least it can come back. जो हो गया सो हो गया. दुर्घटना से देर भली. Knight d6 is on the board. What will happen next, guys? What do you think? If bishop goes to b2, then f4 is coming. But then rook d1, and there will be a lot of pressure. So this something needed to be done about this pressure. काफी pressure बन रहा है center में, and the pieces are not active actually. Not an easy position to play. But फिर भी he needs to do something like this. Something कुछ तो करो यार. You need to give some threat. But the problem is he has to best 3 moves like knight h5, knight f4, and then rook g6, and then something will be created. And by this time he will play rook d1 and take one of the juicers here. Also this will be hanging later on. So this is the problem. And something like this can be useful at some point to defend the guys. But then again he can just put rook c1 or rook d1 and attack them. Also d5 is possible at times. Tough position. Maybe prophylactic rook c8 is possible, at some point. So take, and this file will get open. Why? Because white is likely to keep the queen on the c5. Rook c8 again, rook a6, bishop b8, cd6, bishop d6, pawn takes e5, knight takes e5, knight d4, and some problem with this pawn. But again we have some tricks with bishop takes b4. And he's thinking, guys, and that's the problem. When you are having tough position, you lose time there, and then in the end that helps you, that time lost there helps your opponent to win the game. So right now if cd6, bishop d6, c6, b4 hangs, so he cannot really take or win some material by doing that. He just goes to d1, putting more and more pressure on Arjun. But what if d into e5, just knight e4, rook into e4 is coming. He just blundered, guys, under pressure. Because knight e5 he will just take bishop e5, and after bishop e5 he will take on d5, and then the piece is hanging. So it's very simple for the Chinese grandmaster to win this. Let's see if he can spot that. Yeah, so he played knight takes e5, but now he will play bishop takes e5, the key move of the game. After cd5 there is just no way in which he can prevent the loss of material, and that's it. Let's see if Harsha is winning his game or not. Harsha is playing against Sham. And what happened to the game? Okay, it's not appearing for some reason. Some glitch here. Going back to the Arjun game. And now the problem was, as I was talking about, the bishop is hanging. So we cannot do the natural take on d5. You need to move your bishop, and then white can just, choose any of these options to remain a pawn or a 2 pawn up. And actually, probably Chewy is bad and they're on 4.5, so that doesn't matter at all. Rook h8 and the queen is lost. So if you see the standings, tomorrow we will witness probably Arjun, Hikaru. Hikaru is still playing, and Paravan is still playing. Let's have a look at Paravan. And Hikaru don't want Paravan to qualify, so he is. Wait, Hikaru is playing with white pieces here? Oh, what? Paravan is defeating Hikaru. Wow. So guys, Maksudlu will be out if Hikaru loses this game. This is happening, and King h5, rook g3, but okay, Hikaru is very tricky. If he somehow manages to get the a pawn with the knight, the position is drawn after rook takes g3. But how? If Paravan wins, then Param will be out, and if he doesn't, then Param is through. Already he's out, and Mr. Kobo Ori has qualified. Wow, that's insane. That's insane. But this is very interesting endgame. Let's see if Hikaru can save this, because he is really tricky. He has got some checks and he needs to, get this knight in some checks somehow to one of these squares. If he gets knight to c3, if he gets knight to c3, then the game will be drawn, but it's very difficult. He will go here in the end, but if he goes here, then this check comes. So it's better to go here and be away from the checks of the knight. Once a3 comes, Hikaru is going to lose this. King d4, and now king is out of checks. a3 is unstoppable, which means Hikaru will have to give up sooner or later. Wait, how Hikaru got knight here on two moves? Okay, he played e7, a3 and f5, and the problem is after king c5, Hikaru has no checks and no tricks. The a2 is going to come, and Hikaru being Hikaru gave the rook for the queen, and he's still playing this end game, hoping to get his queen in some form, because it's down to 20 seconds. Wait guys, this is not over. This is not over. Hikaru putting enough pressure because his opponent was down to 15 seconds, but now wait, what? Just finish this game. Hikaru being Hikaru, guys. Hikaru being Hikaru. Just play queen e4, king b to get the knight. Play queen b1, get the knight. He's down to 6 seconds, and he managed to win the game. Okay. Fine. After all, he is a grandmaster, he's a super grandmaster from Russia, who has also won title Tuesdays in the past, defeating Hikaru. So probably all the games of round 9 has finished, and okay, some games are going on the lower boards, but that won't change the standings so much. So we have Andrikin, and guys, look at this. Mr. Paravan David has moved to number 2 spot ahead of Hikaru. So Hikaru will have to play number 6 tomorrow, Chuyi, and Paravan will play number 7, while Andrikin will play number 8. And Mr. Botanik is also out tonight, so as Maksudu. And that's sad, guys. That's sad for them, because no one thought that Paravan will defeat Hikaru, and this guy has to go out. So probably if Arjun could have won, he could have still got out, because he had bad tie breaks. But Harsha had really good start. He lost last 3 games to be out, but he was really doing well. So as Ronald. So guys, tomorrow we won't have any Indian GM in top 8, but next week we will also have qualifiers for the Rapid Chess Championship, where we will see probably Vidit and all other Indian Arjun Nihal also playing the event, as currently some other events are also going on. They are not available to play. So probably we'll have more Indian GMs next week, and we'll be qualifying for the knockouts. And the quarterfinals and the knockout phase is going to start from August onwards. So stay tuned and see you until next time. Bye bye. थैंक यू फॉर जॉइनिंग इन. और जाते जाते एक लाइक जरूर मारना, और अगर आपने सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया दोस्तों तो जल्दी कर दो. ओलंपियाड इज गोइंग टू स्टार्ट, एंड ब्रेकिंग न्यूज़ is Magnus Carlsen will also be playing the Olympiad. He is coming to India. He has announced that. So stay tuned for further updates. Bye bye. Good night. Shab Khair.
If Hike does not win this is such a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
He could even lose this.
No! That's too much!
David, I don't know what to say.
I need a moment to recover from that.
This couldn't be right. Oh,
Whoa! Queen h1.
I'm out. We'll see y'all tomorrow.
What a great move.
And then rook takes g3 back, and the queen's trapped. That is one of the most amazing queen traps I've seen. Oh, wait. B5. Oh my gosh. He's losing a piece. And look at him. He looks away. He can't believe it.
Oh my god!
Nihal trying to give checks, but actually now the pawn is moving forward. The pawn cannot be stopped. Bishop d6.
Oh, he wins a tie.
He loses a tie.
What did we just witness? I think that white bishop must collapse.
Yeah, but he sacrifices again. But it's not a sacrifice. It's a double attack.